What is up, guys? This is the Overload Podcast, episode 34, and we have quite a bit of topics to kind of talk about. Mostly, primarily. Actually, it's even, to be honest. You got mostly games and movie news, and one very interesting TV side of things. First, I guess we're gonna go talk about the Tomb Raider CGI trailer, the thing that they hyped up since last month with Tomb Raider the movie coming out, and they're like, oh, get the rest of the trailer April, or I think it was last week, and like in April or whatnot, right? And what I thought of the trailer, I thought it was meh. You got a month to kind of hype people up, and it was just really a CGI trailer. I did see screenshots. of the game. It looks very reminiscent of Uncharted 4 and Uncharted 2, which I'm just like, huh. I mean, that's kind of inspired by those games right there, the locations and whatnot, but okay. Yeah, I wasn't blown away. It was a standard CGI trailer, and she's becoming the Tomb Raider yet again, and which begs the question: is she even really the Tomb Raider? Because each game is like become the Tomb Raider. Like, this is the time where she's actually going to become the Tomb Raider, and she hasn't. So I'm just like, okay, and it's supposed to be the last game, and I don't know what they mean by that. Is this the last game of her, like, actually trying, like, this will be officially, like, after this game, like, she's like the actual Tomb Raider, right? I have no idea. I'm just very, I don't know. I'm not that hyped because, this game comes out a week later for, after Spider-Man. So it's like, I'm spending money on Spider-Man, and then I might not spend money on Tomb Raider, right? It's like, you got to pick one, Spider-Man or Tomb Raider, and I'd rather pick Spider-Man, but I might pick it up on Black Friday or something like that. As of now, hearing some of the gaming press, say the gameplay is all right and stuff like that. It's not as good as, like, the first two. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm hearing that it's going to be more hub center, like hub world-esque, kind of like Deus Ex, because these are the same people that made the Deus Ex games. And I think the biggest selling point, I guess, for the day, for this game is the, Eidos Montreal knows how to make a good story. So I get that's going for it. Gameplay-wise, I'm not hearing that much, positive press about it. Also, yeah, Microsoft has marketing rights to the Tomb Raider game, and I've heard that the gaming press, when they played the game, Microsoft was the entity of them, sending them and flying them out, like paying for everything. So this kind of gives credence as to that leak that this might be on Game Pass day one for Microsoft. So you just pay $10 on Game Pass, you get it for free. So, I mean, that would be a steal, I guess, for Microsoft. But overall, yeah, just not that excited after seeing that trailer. What about you, Inspector?
I liked the trailer. I thought it was cool. I mean, it's not, of course, it's a CGI trailer, so you can't really say anything about, like, I mean, it's a standard CGI trailer, but I thought it did its job. Like, I haven't played any of the new Tomb Raider games, so I can't really say anything about my previous experiences with the series. So, like, it looked cool. I've seen the screenshots. The screenshots look nice. So, That's all I gotta say. Was it worth the hype? Probably not, but I thought it was a decent trailer.
Yeah. Marvel DC fan, have you seen the CGI trailer for Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
I did, and all right. I did, and I think, like, the trailer was okay. It's a CGI trailer, so there's nothing really too, like, home to write about. But I don't know, my interest for the reboot series just kind of Val after Shadow of the Tomb Raider was an Xbox exclusive, and then it just sort of randomly Rise of the Tomb Raider. I don't know why I'm getting my titles mixed up there, but yeah, it was an Xbox exclusive, and then it just popped up on other consoles, so I haven't played it yet, but I don't think I'm really going to be playing this day one for certain. So,
yeah, I feel you. All right, what about you, Talati? What did you think of that trailer? Did you think it was amazing or?
It was meh.
Okay.
It was because it's a copy and paste of Uncharted, man. Straightforward. Copy and paste. I know it's all hyped up because of the Tomb Raider movie. Let's be honest. And yeah, it's Microsoft exclusive. But wrong timing. Wrong timing to do it.
True. Now, kind of go into another trailer came out, Red Dead Redemption 2. And, you know, I had a lot to think about because they did hype this up for a week. And did I think this was worth the hype for Red Dead 2? You know, I'll say this. I'll give credit where credit is due. You know, the game looks nice. It looks in terms of graphics for an open world game. It looks really, really good. This is a prequel game too, by the way. And I'm not gonna say Red Dead 2 is gonna be bad. I highly, highly doubt. Rockstar doesn't really make bad games, but I felt like this trailer was underwhelming, to say the least. Right? I thought the trailer essentially was like it didn't even give much of the story, which that was, I guess, the biggest selling point with any story trailer, right? Is to sell us on the story, and there is not really a story to sell right now, and because they want to keep, you know, the story close to their vest, which I'm fine with. They did that with God of War, but you got the basic premise of God of War with the story in the trailers. I kind of wish Red Dead did that with that, and you know, they did show John Marston in the game, which he was the main character / main protagonist of the game, and I think a lot of fans of Red Dead 1 will love that. But other than that, I kind of wish we got a gameplay centric trailer / demo to show, you know, what Red Dead 2 is all about, what they changed going from the PS3 to the PS4 and Xbox One, right? And overall, yeah, the trailer was also meh, if I were to be honest. Looks great, but I think they could have done more after hyping people up for a week. If this was, like, I guess, not hyped up right and kind of put to the side and, like, just came out of nowhere, it would have been better. But when you hype people up, their expectations will go high, and then you just let them down. And you just got to make a trailer to exceed expectations. That's all I have to say there. We'll go with Marvel DC fan. Have you seen the Red Dead 2 trailer?
I did, and like you, I thought it was a good trailer, but it could have done so much more. Like, I'm on the same boat as you, where I wish, like, it could have been more of a kind of gameplay centric trailer. So that's all I really got to say about it.
All right, Inspector, have you seen the Red Dead 2 trailer or no?
Yeah. Like you guys, and to echo what you guys said, I thought it was just okay. It didn't really, like, impress me that much. Like, when I was watching, like, this looks cool. Like, I didn't play the first Red Dead, but I know this is a prequel, so I guess I can just, like, jump right in.
Yeah.
Prequel. Like, I understand why companies do that, but I also, like, don't understand, like, it's a sequel. Why make a prequel? It doesn't make any, like, why make it a prequel if it's a sequel? It's just, like, kind of confusing, but I mean, it looks fine. As we said, it's a cinematic trailer, not really gameplay focused. I would like to see more gameplay focused, but, like, what can you do?
Yeah. Claudio, what do you think about the trailer?
It was a good trailer. Very, very good trailer. pretty much, I can't wait to show something at E3 because, to be honest, they probably will show something at E3.
Mhm. I know that people have actually played the game, and supposedly like those cinematics are in-game cutscenes and whatnot, so there's no like they're not pre-rendered or anything like that. I don't think anyone questioned that either. Supposedly there have been screenshots, floating around of people, playing the game and whatnot. And I kind of wish we seen more of that, but the press is the one playing it, and IGN I think had like exclusive coverage, and we've seen more more screenshots of the game. And I won't lie, the screenshots I've seen look gorgeous. I just wish we got more gameplay. And then when Talia said, hopefully they, show gameplay at E3, but I don't even think GTA 5 showed gameplay at E3, and they showed it around like July or August. I would say July is where they showed a meaty gameplay demo of a narration trailer. And Rockstar, beats their own drum. They don't follow, a set rule or a set following. And they do what they want to do. And hey, they make the most money out of any company. So what do I know? Now to kind of quickly talk about Microsoft hiring with a focus on first-party AAA exclusives. Microsoft job listing suggests the company is turning its focus towards developing AAA exclusive titles for its console. The listing is for a principal program manager in Santa Monica. And no, it's not the Santa Monica Sony studio. Santa Monica's a place. And the candidate will be tasked with growing internal studio talent and working to help build a new franchise. It also calls for experience shipping high-quality titles at AAA standards. That's a direct quote. It's unclear if it's intentionally worded that way. And I kind of changed that because it had 4 A's, so that's kind of why they say intentionally worded that way or not. And a knowledge and understanding of the process of building new IP. And what do I think? I think it's good news for Microsoft because they kind of need a new game. But is this too late? Because I think we're heading in the time for the generation where 2020 will probably be the time frame where the new consoles launch, and I don't think you're going to see this game on the Xbox One. I'll think it might be cross-gen. I'll say that. It'll be cross-gen, but it's going to be heavily marketed as a launch game for the next Xbox. But at least they understand the mistakes that they've made this generation. They're moving forward, trying to create new AAA exclusives and a brand new franchise. And what they need to know is they need to get good talent to create those games. Because even though that they create new games, like we've seen, right? We've seen Rise, Recore, Quantum Break. Those games weren't up to snuff. These games didn't become franchises because it didn't have that talent, so to speak. But they're in the step in the right direction, and I want them to succeed. I want them to make good games so I can buy it on my PC. I'm not this guy who's going to hate on Xbox and say, screw Xbox, even though that it looks like they're making an effort to try. I'm not going to say stuff like that. They're making an effort to try to create new franchises, new games that other people can enjoy. Inspector, what do you think about this?
For this generation, I do think it's too late showing how Sony is with their exclusives. Like, I feel when it comes to this exclusives battle, quote unquote, it's always a cycle. Because if you see like Xbox 360, Xbox 360 was the main console that everyone was playing because it had all the good exclusives. Like PlayStation had exclusives, but like there was substantially less exclusives. Like if you look at the PS3, you had pretty much just Uncharted and Infamous. Like those were the main two PlayStation, like not including like MLB sports games, whatever. Those were like the main two exclusives. But now, like PlayStation up their game with God of War, with Horizon, Detroit Become Human, Last of Us. Like they become AAA. Like they become AAA franchises, and I think Microsoft has just been spinning its wheels for the past, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years, because they've had this cycle kind of like what Sony had with PS3, where it's just Forza, Halo, Gears of War. Gears of War flopped, so I don't know what's going to go on with that series. Halo 5 kind of flopped. Like, well, it was a Halo game, so it didn't really flop, but you get what I mean. Like, so they're like canceling exclusives, and now maybe these exclusives will come back on the new Xbox. I just think it's too late for this generation, but like it can make it in time for like the next generation, which will probably be in like 2 or 3 years.
Sure. Marvel DC fan, what do you think about this news for Microsoft getting the new AAA game / possibly new franchise?
I think it's good that Xbox is starting to, rev up those gears and starting to try and find good AAA talent to, help make some good games and hopefully franchises. But I don't want it to be the case where they develop these new games, like rushing them for the new console to come out. Because like whenever like AAA games like rush, that really leaves a sour taste in people's mouths. And I really want Microsoft Xbox to really succeed, but I don't want it to be to the point where it's just them keeping up with the competition. So, and I mean, as of this point, it's a little late for this generation, since developers are starting to start looking towards these new consoles coming out. So hopefully things will work out for the best, but only time will tell.
Sure. What about you, Talati? What do you think?
I think, it might be a little bit too late for Microsoft. Even though I'm an Xbox guy, but I think it's a little bit too late for them to actually start to get some third-party, really exclusive games now and trying to push it out there, because they know the life cycle for each console is actually 5 years, 5 to 7 years, and PlayStation's already got their PS5. They're teasing that now, and it's like it's too late now. PlayStation's already got their exclusives, and Microsoft just needs to, they're far behind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think, though.
All right. And a quick thing, Thanos is in Fortnite, and cool thing, and what they're doing is they created a new limited, game mode where, you pick up the Infinity Gauntlet, you become Thanos, basically wreck people, right? And Battle Royale, right? I think that's cool. I think that's interesting, I guess, promotion for Infinity War. And yeah, I think, I guess more movies should kind of do that. To kind of, it's like marketing 101, which we don't see many, movies kind of market that way. And I thought it was very interesting. And then I saw like the Russo brothers Twitter page with that too. And that was pretty cool. Quick thoughts, Inspector. What do you think? That was a good move for them to do?
I blanked kind of.
With Thanos being in.
Yeah, it was. I think it was good cross promotion.
Mm-hmm.
When it came, I don't know if they kind of executed it right, knowing that they nerfed him within 3 hours of.
Yeah, that's Epic though. So you blame Epic on that one.
Yeah, and plus, like, I don't know if like Marvel went to Epic and said, "Hey, you can put Thanos in your game," or if like Epic asked Marvel.
Yeah, we don't know about that.
Like, we don't know how the rights thing works because like Epic just can't put Thanos in their game. They need to have permission.
Yeah.
So, like, I wonder how that. Did Cliff Blazinski just? Oh, Cliff Blazinski doesn't work at Epic anymore.
Yeah, no, dude. He's making his own battle royale game.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I just connect Cliff Blazinski with everything Epic since he was like the main guy at Epic for like so many years.
Yeah. Exactly. What about you, Marvel DC fan? What do you think?
I think like for cross promotion, it's good for Marvel to branch out to games like Fortnite and stuff like that. But with this, there's two major issues that kind of turn me off from wanting to play as Thanos in Fortnite. Because for one, they nerfed him like literally like a day after he came out. And the second thing is that he's only there for a limited time. So, I mean, if he was like maybe like a DLC thing, and maybe that like I'd be tooting my horn a little bit differently, but also like I don't play Fortnite, so there's not really much for me to care about that. It's cool that he's in there, but yeah, it's a little disappointing.
Mm-hmm. All right, Ty, what do you think about Thanos being in Fortnite? You think it's a good marketing decision or whatnot?
That's a good marketing thing from Marvel and also by Epic Games, because Epic Games already is with their Fortnite game is pretty much blowing up on Twitch and YouTube and you name it. With Marvel's Infinity War just being released, and that's been a blockbuster success. It kind of makes sense for them to be okay. So our blockbuster movie with Epic Games, we can actually use that to our advantage, and that makes total sense. But the whole nerfing within 2 hours, come on, Thanos is OP anyway. So what's the point of you nerfing him?
Exactly.
There's no point of nerfing him. It's like yeah, he's got the Infinity Gauntlet. That's the whole point of the game.
Yeah, it's like Thanos is like supposed to be OP. It's like certain characters are supposed to be OP. It's like, and also Darkseid is OP as well. It's like those two type of characters are supposed to be like characters that many heroes have to take on, right? So that's it with that. So now we're gonna, I guess, talk about the no, actually, we'll talk quickly about Square Enix. Square Enix basically confirmed that they are, doing a E3 press conference, but not in the way you think, where it's live. It's going to be a pre-recorded show, which means they have quite a bit of games to show. And we're going to go over what those games are, what we think about those games, and then talk about one potential game that has not really been like explored yet, and it's probably going to show up there. The first couple of games, Kingdom Hearts, that's totally going to be there. Kingdom Hearts 3, it's basically confirmed to this point, and Square Enix wants to show all the games that they have, right? In this conference, they have a lot of games to show off. We see also Final Fantasy VII Remake. They have to give an update because of all these reports coming out and seeing how this game's a mess. They have to show a demo or something to basically calm the fans' nerves on this game and this chaotic development cycle for it. Also, we're going to probably see Final Fantasy 15 DLC expansions for this game coming out next year. We're going to see also Tomb Raider. This is coming out September. You'll probably see a demo, a trailer of some sorts for that game. And then we're going to talk separately after this, what the other potential game that will be talking about. But overall, with these games, what do we think, Inspector? What do we think about these games? You think? Well, just give me your thoughts on it in general.
Yeah, definitely. I was like the first thing that popped into my head for Square Enix was Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely Final Fantasy VII, maybe Kingdom Hearts. I don't know. Kingdom Hearts has been in such development hell for like I don't know, like 10 years, right?
Well, no, it hasn't been in development hell. It's just they've been making a lot of in between games, so it's like they haven't really made a sequel per se, like a number sequel, and that's really on the director's fault because he's been doing all these like different iterations and whatnot, like Birth by Sleep and 3DS Kingdom Hearts games, and it's not been in hell because it's been like it's a 4 to 5 year development cycle for the game. So
yeah. What else? Maybe Tomb Raider, since isn't that Square?
yeah, that's Square.
Yeah, Tomb Raider. Maybe a demo or a trailer, maybe both.
Yeah.
What else? I assume we're gonna talk about Avengers later.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll talk about that later. I don't know if he'll do another Deus Ex after Mankind Divided kind of flopped.
Yeah, I mean the Deus Ex team is doing this, the Tomb Raider game.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I think that's going to be put on ice for a while, which I'm sad about, but it is what it is.
Yeah, because I've heard good things about Mankind Divided.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, I can't really think of anything else from Square.
All right, Marvel DC fan, what do you think about the lineup for Square's conference and your thoughts about it?
I mean, besides like Avengers project, which is most likely going to be there, the only two things I'm really looking forward to is Kingdom Hearts 3, because I've been really enjoying that series, especially since they brought pretty much a bunch of their games onto PS4. So that's really nice. And then Final Fantasy VII Remake is another thing, because we've barely gotten anything for since it was announced. So hopefully we'll get something to kind of ease the fans a little bit. So, but besides that, I mentioned this earlier, I'm not really interested in Tomb Raider if they do a gameplay or a trailer for that. So, yeah.
Yep, and also, remember Final Fantasy 15. If you guys have gotten that game, they're doing more expansions coming out next year, which they'll probably show Arden as like DLC, his episode. Slotty, what do you think about the lineup in general? Besides like Avengers, everything else.
Well, obviously we know the Avengers project is going to be there. That is something that is definitely going to happen. I know that Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be there because that's Square Enix, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that they'll probably show something there, as well as Kingdom Hearts, because we only had a little bit from E3 last year, right?
Yeah, and they kind of like showed some trailers in between, like TGS and
yeah. So they're gonna have to show something which is a dub, English dub.
Oh yeah, I think yeah, I agree with you. I think the game's coming out this year. I think they're gonna have to show dub, and actually English dub, and I think the dub is basically done by now.
Yeah.
So they're gonna show that probably as a trailer or a demo or whatnot.
Yeah. So I think that's gonna be there. Avengers project. I can only assume. Tomb Raider. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I pretty much can. That's the only games I can list off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I can really think of right now, and I know the Avengers project is going to be a huge one because we haven't had anything from them. Yeah,
and okay, yeah. Now we'll talk about, I guess, the Avengers in general. That's gonna happen. It's to that point where Square wants to show that off, and it's probably going to be the key highlight in the conference. I think it'll be their closing, to be honest. We're gonna see what it looks like. How the game's gonna. I don't know if we'll see. I don't think they're gonna do a CGI. If they do a CGI, then it's kind of like, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't think
think yeah, they don't. I hope they don't, because then it's just the same situation you're in with Tomb Raider. It's like, then what's the point? You know what I mean? I mean, I guess if you could say like it shows the story, I guess then. But to me, I'll be disappointed if I were to be honest with myself. I think what they need to do is show if this game is first person or third person or top down view or whatnot. I think they need to show what that is. I think they also need to show the characters in the game, and also I think you just gotta show off the combat, the enemies, and the characters, and a premise of the story. If I were to be honest, I'm gonna have low expectations. It's gonna be a CGI trailer. I'm gonna say that right there. I'm gonna go in with low expectations, so I don't have to be disappointed. Because every single time it's like Crystal Dynamics announces their game, it's like a CGI trailer, and they've always done it with both Tomb Raider games. I wouldn't be surprised if this has a full-length CGI trailer and a couple screenshots. There you go. That's just me. But I did say what they should do, and how to satisfy the Marvel games fans or whatnot. But that's just me. Inspector, what do you think that they need to do? What do you think? Okay, I'll say this. What do you think that they're going to do, and what do you think that they need to do?
I think they're going to show a CGI trailer, just because I think interest in the game has because a lot of people have actually forgotten that there's an Avengers game coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a CGI trailer would just remind people that it's happening, because the last time we got any info was last year with that 1 minute teaser trailer.
Yeah.
And a little bit of something. To be honest, at this point, I don't know. I still don't know if we're going to get gameplay, because they haven't even told us what type of game it is. So how are we supposed to gauge? It's so hard. But like you said, is it third person? Is it top down? Is it an RPG? Is it just an action game or whatever? They haven't told us anything. So
I would say this, right? If we do get a CGI trailer, I do think there's gonna be a backstage demo just for the press, and we're probably just gonna get information from there. Journalists writing about it. I'll say that as well.
Okay.
Is that it, Inspector?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Marvel DC fan, what do you think that they're actually going to show, and also what do you think that they need to do?
I think it's pretty much certain that it's gonna be a CGI trailer. That's just how Square Enix does things, and they'll probably continue with that strategy for announcing games. But what I want specifically is kind of a gameplay sort of demo thing, kind of just showing what type of game it is, kind of put fans at ease on how it's going to work, what the characters will look like and stuff. But yeah, for me, there was the teaser, which didn't really excite me when I first saw it, and everything rumor wise that we've heard up to this point really hasn't convinced me all that much. So for me, I'm going in with very low expectations for what they show off. So.
All right, Talado, what do you think they're gonna actually show, and what do you think that they need to do?
I think they'll actually show. They won't show a CGI trailer. I don't think. It'll probably be like a story, It'll be like a little demo type of thing. They'll probably show there. Because we've had CGI, right? Last year. They're gonna do the same thing as what Spider-Man PS4 did. Basically, I think they're gonna do that. And possibly they might even do a show floor case of the little like 15 or 20-minute demo for people to play. I think that might be the thing, but what they need to do really personally is to actually give us some information on what it is before E3. I think because we've waited a whole year. They said last year that in 2018
you get more information.
Yeah, we just need a little bit more information just before we head into E3, saying what it is. So,
all right. So we got one more game news, which is pretty big. No one expected it.
It's actually two.
Yeah, well, I know, but I'm talking about like the Game Informer side.
Okay.
It's not, like the leaked is like different type of gaming.
Yeah, okay.
Game Informer announced, yet again, another PlayStation exclusive coverage for a month. It's Days Gone, and it seems like Sony's very confident in these games where they would have Game Informer, cover these games for a month, to play, the demo and talk about it. And it's very interesting, right?
The last, 3 Game Informers just been Sony games. Like
God of War was Sony. Spider-Man, God of War was a Game Informer. Spider-Man was Game Informer.
This is now
Detroit Become Human was IGN.
Okay.
But yeah, those are 3 games though. God of War, Spider-Man, and Days Gone. Now, it looks great. I'm not gonna lie, the graphics look good. I've seen some other screenshots and stuff like that, and hearing about, you'll also have flashback missions, of his previous life, and it seems very, very. I would say it's like an open world game, supposed to be 30 hours to beat the main story. It takes a lot longer to do the side content, and it seems like, wow, it's crazy talking about essentially that. For me, I'm just like, it seems like they've been making those improvements, hearing the fan feedback, but it seems usually like all these Game Informers Sony has done is basically these games are basically almost done. And I don't know. I don't think they've said if it was delayed. Sony said outright, or it was just media covering it, because usually when they do this type of stuff, the game comes out this year. So, but the issue here lies then. It's gonna be placed in an overcrowded months. That, or they put this in January or February. I'm still going with January, February. I'll be surprised if it comes out in the November time frame, right? But overall, hearing about this, hearing the weather dynamic systems, snow and all that, and how it's very, character driven, and an emotional story, as well as different interactions with the groups and whatnot, and how you'll have different encounters, different events happening and whatnot. And I think it's very interesting. It kind of they have something to prove that, because I guess you could say the zombie genre has been overplayed, and they're trying to make it where it's not that their game is different than the other games. And what I've seen is from the Game Informer, stuff like that, is they've been hearing the feedback, and then they've been improving it. But yeah, the graphics look great too, and I can't wait. Sony Bend made us, dude. I usually mess it up, but I know my friends have played the game. Let me look it up. What games they've made?
Siphon Filter.
Yeah, that game. I heard it's supposed to be really good, and my friends have played that.
They also
And
made Uncharted Golden Abyss.
mhm. And I thought the Uncharted Golden Abyss was a solid game, for the Vita. And Ben Studio, and then you've been hearing the reports that Ben Studio is also hiring for a new IP, which means they're basically done with this game. And I don't think this game they're trying to do is it gonna. I don't think they're trying to make it as a franchise either. As well, it's like I think what they're trying to do for this game is just tell their story and create a game that's fun and enjoyable, and independent from trying to be a franchise. And then they're making another new IP, which kind of gives credence that this game is basically done. What do you think, Marvel DC fan, about the coverage for Game Informer? And do you think that when do you think the game is going to actually come out? You think it's going to be late this year or early, like in January or February?
I mean, like, I'm interested, to say the least, to see what kind of coverage about the game, what kind of stuff they'll show off, and because this game hasn't really been on my radar, so maybe with this month it'll kind of switch me over. And in terms of release date, if anything, the most I can really think of is either late 2018 or early 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what about you, Inspector? Are you surprised about this Game Informer announcement? And usually, how these games, when they're announced in Game Informer, are basically almost done and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they're doing one for this game. Like, it's weird because Game Informer covers are sometimes usually predictable. But the last, like, Spider-Man last month was really predictable, knowing that they would do it. Doing a God of War 2 months ago was kind of weird because like they did a cover so close to release. Because usually when it comes to like big games like God of War, they do like a year in advance and not like 2 months before the game comes out. But yeah, I'm interested to get more info, even though I haven't really been impressed from what I've seen. It just kind of looks like Dying Light mixed with like kind of Uncharted-ish type gameplay. I mean, I like Uncharted gameplay, and like Dying Light wasn't really my type of thing, but like I'm interested to hear new info.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think the release date potentially might be for this game?
I don't know. I'm thinking spring 2019.
Really? That would be a long ways away from them doing that coverage, though. So it's
I know,
like,
but like most of the time, yeah, maybe like maybe winter this year, but I don't know. There's just too many games coming out at the end.
Yeah, that's why I was saying January or February, the latest.
Well, spring is like March, so maybe like February or March. I don't know. With Last of Us coming out in like September or October.
That's why I don't know if The Last of Us will come out in September, October. It might come out in like June.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah. It might try and go back to that same spot like it did originally in June.
Oh no.
That's maybe why they want to release this as early as possible, because they have the time schedule when Last of Us may come out or expected to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want to have that, I guess what you would say, not enough time gap between those games. You know what I mean? because it might conflict with one another. But what about you, Talati? What do you think?
About the cover?
Cover, when you think the game's coming out, and all that.
I think the cover was just pretty much BS. Firstly, because I felt as if they're going. I mean, I think they're just going down the route of all exclusives now, and I think that's kind of bullshit for Xbox fans or users, I should say, because they'll lose the Xbox side of things, and I think it should be a mixed type of thing. But if they're keeping going down the way Xbox exclusives, PlayStation exclusives, it's just going to be like they're going to lose their PC fans or Xbox fans, and people won't want to be bothered to pay attention to this shit. And when I think this game could be released, could be either February or March of 2019, which would be ideal for them, I think.
Even if Last of Us is in June?
Even if The Last of Us in June 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
then,
then?
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I disagree with you there. I feel like it cuts into sales.
No,
Because
but
it's two same type of genres.
I don't know, but most sales happen within like the first month anyway. So
yeah, so
Yeah, but like gamers are different though. It's not like the same like movies and whatnot. It's like $60 you're paying.
yeah,
I know,
at the
but if
end
you
of-
look at it, most sales, because people are going off the hype for the game, so most sales happen with like in the first month or so. So I don't think it's going to cut into it that much. Knowing that, and plus knowing that Bend is a relatively smaller studio than Naughty Dog, like they're a lesser known studio than Naughty Dog. Since they've only made like one series, which is Siphon Filter, and that's like an old PS1, PS2 series. I don't think, like, I'm not gonna say it's gonna sell badly. I'm gonna say it's probably not gonna sell as much as Last of Us. I don't think it's gonna cut into sales that much. But
I would say one or the other cuts both, like they will cut into both of their sales in general. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying like no, I'm not saying like Last of Us will not sell as much, or I'm just saying they're kind of somewhat cannibalize themselves in the same type of genres and whatnot. Like you'll see like in 3 months apart, like a Resident Evil game and also an Outlast game. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
You would see those games separate in like 6 months or more. Because you're never going to have a survival or horror type of game in like the 3 month span. It's just not good for like the genres.
I can see from where you're coming from, but it's like for me though, it's like it's gonna be February or March because there's no way they're gonna be like, oh, because Red Dead 2 comes out, remember, October, and they've got November, December, right, and then you've got January, which is there's got no AAA games coming out within those 3 months.
January could be a perfect time to put it there.
Either January, February, or March, but I think either January, February, but January, February, March, yeah.
Maybe
first 3 months.
it could take the spot of like where Horizon has released like late February.
Yeah, I think it could be.
Last week of February.
And I'll say Game Informer will give the release date.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it'll be January.
You think
That's
that?
me.
Okay. Well, we're gonna
There's enough breathing room for the game, and yeah, I got some hopes for it. I think Ben, from what I'm hearing from Game Informer, reading these articles, it seems like they're on a good path for a 88 score, 87 around that, Metacritic score.
Oh, so about 4 out of 5.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess we can talk about. Talati can lead the leak discussion.
Right. So basically, there's been a leak on the internet. Guys, make sure you take this with a grain of salt, as always. This leak has been on 4chan. Now, this has been blowing up on the internet for the last week, and it's called Superman Game Incoming. and apparently this is going to be made by Rocksteady. We all know, I remember we talked about this before, but this is like a huge thing. It says Rocksteady's Superman game made by Rocksteady, Unreal Engine 4, big open world metropolis 3 times the size of Arkham Knight, with a lot more buildings. Can't play as Clark Kent. Main villain is Brainiac. Nerf Superman to the animated series level. Semi-destructible environment. Think Arkham Knight, no buildings are falling over. Combat system integrates with flying like Dragon Ball Z Fighter. Punch like someone, you zoom towards them and repeat. Set within the Arkhamverse. Tons of Easter eggs, Superman lore. Some of the events that took place with the Batman Arkham franchise. Rocksteady and WB Games Montreal are working on a joint game, hence the multiplayer hirings on Rocksteady's Twitter page and site. This is planned for a Justice League game down the road. They had to nail the Superman game first. The announcement should be incoming about a couple of weeks before E3. One of those see more gameplay at E3 type of reveals. Now, as well, just before I let everyone else have their say on this, there is kind of more things to add up to this because I did some research on this myself, and there was 2 IPs for websites which has been renewed, such as supermangame.com and justiceleaguegame.com, which both got renewed back in February of 2018. And you can't go on the website at all. It looks to be under construction. And, basically that kind of adds up to what this leak is saying as well. So, but that's me though. I think it could be real. It could be fake. Who knows? Time will tell, obviously. And so I'll let you guys have your guys say on this. First, we'll have Red Hood with what he thinks about this leak and what he also thinks about what I said about the IP website thing.
So, I always, believed Rocksteady would make a Superman game.
Right.
It just seems like they've always said that in the past as well, that a game they would like to make out of Batman would be Superman. Hearing about the Lake Brainiac sounds like a logical choice. I think, the Minor Destructions sounds, reasonable, kind of like Arkham Knight. It makes sense. Also, I would say, it would make sense also with nerfing. So you're not, freaking going through buildings and, destroying everything, I guess. I would also say I've always said this, I guess, on multiple episodes of podcasts for this about Superman. I think Rocksteady's super talented. And, they made a great Batman franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And Superman is a very hard, character to get right. I don't think we've ever gotten a amazing, knock it out of the park Superman game yet. It's never been done. And for them, it's going to be a very hard challenge because you want to make the gameplay super, super fun, right? Yeah, I think also what they need to do, kind of learn their lessons from Arkham Knight, is they should hire Paul Dini to write the story. Because I've always gravitated to the stories for Asylum City more than I did with Knight. I still think Knight's a great game. I just think it's not, the storyline isn't up to those level too, right? And hopefully that they can kind of go back and be like, hey, Paul Dini, can you, write this Superman game story for us? Because he's worked on, Batman the Animated Series and also Superman the Animated Series writing for it. I think it would be great for him to do that. And also, hopefully they apologize for not having him in Arkham Knight. Because I've seen, him talk about, beforehand, him not getting, called in for the new Arkham games. And you're not hearing anything from them. I just want that to be addressed. Also, I think that they need to also fix the side quest structure, right? I think in Arkham City, it was fine. It was good. Arkham Knight, you're getting to this point where we got open world games where the side quest structures are becoming more varied and less repetitive. And then Arkham Knight, it felt repetitive.
It's basically Ubisoft's side mission.
Yeah, which I was fine with City because City, like, I don't know how to describe it because open world side quests haven't become evolutionary. You know what I mean? At that time frame.
And City was less of an open world and more like Metroidvania kind of.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like open world like City open world. It was kind of just like an expansion of Asylum.
Yeah.
Okay. But what do you think about the IPs then that I told to the website, IPs which got renewed?
I mean, it makes sense.
Okay.
I also want to say about the air combat thing. I'm hoping it's good because it's like the combat system is make it or break it. You have to make the combat system good because if you don't make the combat system good, then the game's done for. You know what I mean? And I think like hearing about the Dragon Ball Fighters, that's interesting, but I need to see it. You know what I mean? When you say Dragon Ball Fighters, it's a side, it's a 2D fighter.
Yeah, like that Dragon Ball game just got released just recently.
Yeah, so it's hard to see a 3D version because they're on the ground in Dragon Ball Fighters, right? And it's kind of just hard to envision where you're trying to say, okay, so Superman would, go in like Dragon Ball Fighters character and start punching. It's like I also need to see like how the punches are gonna be and how the combat system would work, because Superman isn't a mixed martial artist. He's a brawler that has super strength, and heat vision, cold breath, and flies, and he's fast, but not as fast as Flash. Well, actually, you get into a huge debate about that, but that's not really the
Something
point.
like Man of Steel, basically. Something like what Man of Steel was, but instead of it buildings breaking down and shit.
Well, but it has to be a game like movie format. That's great. Man of Steel, that's great. But in game format, it has to be
perfected,
and there has to be a combat system. You can't just like punch somebody through, like punch somebody into an enemy to a building, and that won't be fun.
Yeah, it kind of has to have like, it can't just have like air combat. It has to have ground combat too.
Yeah,
see that's where we go into the problem. Is we need to see the combat to determine. It's like hard to envision, I guess.
Yeah.
Through description, but that's like my thoughts.
You don't even think about the whole WB Montreal as well, working with Rocksteady down the road with this Justice League thing as well.
I mean, I don't.
You think that's a possibility, like they did with Arkham Knight, where they worked on Arkham Knight as well?
I mean, I'll be honest. The stuff that they worked on Arkham Knight was my least favorite, if I were to be honest. So I honestly don't want them anywhere near any of the projects. I don't like to be that guy that's like, oh, WB Montreal is awful. But they've always made my least favorite pieces of DLC / game from the Arkham series. So
I
kind of hope they just leave that stuff alone.
Okay. So, Inspector, what are your thoughts and opinions with the whole Rocksteady leaks on 4chan and as well the IP website, which I found out on Imager with the whole update with SupermanGame.com and JusticeLeagueGame.com?
I think the leak is interesting. As Red Hood said, I think I need to see it instead of just hear it, because when you I like the Brainiac part. I agree with Red Hood is that they need to rethink the side quest structure, because as I said with Knight, it was like Ubisoft side missions, outposts, checkpoints, all that stuff, and it got really repetitive. When it got to the villain stuff, I liked it, but when it got to all that menial stuff, I didn't really care for it. what else? The combat system, I agree. I also agree with Red Hood that it needs a set in stone combat system and not just like punch a person, zoom towards them, and punch them again.
Okay.
I think they need to remake an entire combat system because they can't use the Arkham combat system in this game. It just
Right.
won't fit. And the nerfing makes sense. And to the levels that it says, it does make sense with like animated series levels because he was powerful in the animated series, but not as strong as he like is in the comics.
Yeah.
I just wonder, like, if it's a Superman game, they have to have Lex. They can't have a Superman game without Lex. Like,
Yes.
even though Brainiac is the quote unquote main villain, like Lex either has to be working with Brainiac or like Lex is behind the scenes or something.
Do you
And
think? Go on.
and as for Paul Dini writing it, I would like to see Paul Dini write it, but I don't know if he will come back.
That is a 50-50 with me. I mean,
Yeah,
with Paul Dini, it's a 50-50 thing. Because
but
with Rocksteady right now, it's because don't forget, if you guys don't know, this leak actually came out last week. So it's been a full week and Rocksteady hasn't said anything about this stuff.
and I think I don't want to blame all the story problems with Knights
Yeah.
on like Sefton Hill and Rocksteady, because Sefton Hill was like probably the main writer on the game. I just think the problem with Arkham Knight is with the marketing is that they were focusing more on the Arkham Knight stuff, and like that was kind of a big part of the game, but the bigger part of the game was the like Batman fighting his own identity stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and like the Arkham Knight stuff was like kind of, I don't want to say a footnote in the story, but kind of less important than the whole like Batman fighting himself and like accepting his life without Joker and stuff. Like that was the meat of the game that I liked, and I think that was where the good writing was. And I feel now that Rocksteady's done with the Arkham games, I think they'll stretch their writing. I don't want to say, I don't know if prowess is the right word, but writing skills in the Superman game, knowing that they want to like hit the Superman game hard and like impress everyone. And as for the sites, yeah, like it makes sense that they're like drumming up sites for these games. And as for the Justice League game, as Red Hood said, I don't really want WB Montreal around just because, like Red Hood, they've made my least favorite parts of the Arkham games. Like
Yeah.
Arkham Origins had its moments, but it was a messy game with a lot of technical problems, and
Leaks and all of that. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, and the like the story packs for the Arkham Knight were the weakest parts and all that stuff. So
In that Batgirl continuity
Yeah.
era DLC.
Yeah, the
Oh my God.
Batgirl continuity era.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can blame Montreal on that, and just don't forget, guys, they are working on another Batman game, which kind of sucks, obviously, but they've been given a role
And
to that.
supposedly, according to Nolan North, the Batman game that everyone's been reporting on is canceled. It's gone. It's dead.
Yeah, he actually tweeted out that that he was on that project. That he replied to a tweet in saying that where is it? He said to them that he said that no, he said I can't say, but it was very cool. Hit a wall, dead. Died. Kaput. Damn shame, but it happens in our business. About because somebody asked him about the WB project that he did the interview with Kotaku and all of that.
Mhm.
So that pretty much sums up that he did probably worked on whatever project the Montreal was working on, but just that leak as well, that just went too far stretched.
Yeah.
I'll say this: I don't want to be the type of person that says that this studio hasn't done much. It's been years since they actually made a game.
5
and we've
years
been
since they
hearing
announced.
cancellations from them. It's just like you're using a lot of resources,
Yeah.
a lot of money from them, and you haven't done much. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
I just think in the next 2 years, if they don't make a game, they're going to be put, like, they're just going to be shut down. Because knowing how bad their productivity is, like, they're just a liability to WB as a whole. So
Because you got your other studios, Rocksteady making games, Monolith Studios making games, your Lego division making games, but WB Montreal just not doing anything.
They're basically WB with WB Games Montreal right now. The way it stands is just they're very in bad shape, and pretty much, I don't think they'll even do a really good Batman game. I'll really be honest with you on that.
yeah, those are
Yeah.
my opinions. Marvel DC fan, what are your opinions on all these leaks?
All these leaks with the Superman stuff and the website IP.
I mean, there's like a lot of stuff that like I'm looking forward to. Like the story seems like the way that they're going at it, it seems fine. Brainiac, just because like for me personally, like after Injustice 2, like Brainiac kind of left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. So me personally, I would have wanted them to do something a little bit different, but it's still interesting, like, and cool nonetheless. But when it comes to like gameplay and stuff, I'm sure that when it comes to like free roaming, they'll do something good with that. But when it comes to like combat, it's hard to like. It's something that, like you guys said, that's something I need to see for myself to really get a grasp on, because like with combat, like they can't just do the Arkham stuff again. But the thing about it is that like you want him to be powerful, but it's also a video game, so he can't be on that level. So you gotta find that right balance. And I think like with details and stuff, that's kind of hard to visualize. And you know, if they brought Paul Dini, that'd be cool. But at this point, it's a little hard to say if he will do, like, if he'll come back and do writing a video game story. But at the end of the day, for me, it's just a leak. Like I've said before on other podcast episodes, it's just a leak. So until I see until I see something official, I'm not really gonna hold too much hype for it. So
Okay, and the IP websites, the website IP. So Superman.com.
I really got nothing on it. No.
Okay, but that's pretty much like what we gotta say. But just like I said, guys, take it with a grain of salt, because we don't know if Rocksteady is indeed working on a Superman game or if they are working on something else. We might possibly get something at E3 or before, but we'll have to wait and find out. So I'll pass it over to Red Hood and he can talk about the next topic.
All right. So we got some amazing news for God of War. We got a couple things for God of War. God of War has sold 3 million copies in 3 days, which is very, very good for, especially for an exclusive game, a rated M game in 3 days. Not even a lot of multi-platform games sell that much to that like pedigree, and I think that's insane. And I think it's a very much deserved for God of War to get that many sales. And the game is fantastic. We'll go more into it after talking about the next God of War news. But overall, I'm very proud that everyone's out supporting this game, and it seems like it's gonna outpace Uncharted 4 in its lifetime sales because it sold more than Uncharted 4 did in its first week. So yeah. I'm super happy that everyone's playing this game because it is a masterpiece. Inspector, what do you think about the the sales number
No, as you said, knowing that it's both an M-rated game and exclusive, that these are amazing numbers, and it deserves all of them because I just finished God of War last night, and it's such an amazing game. The ending just hits you with the feels, and like the first ending hits you with the feels, and then the second ending just gets you really excited, like gets you hyped up. And
Mhm.
now what I'm doing is I'm just exploring and doing all the side quests, and that's like I love the story, but I think exploring is just my favorite part because the world is so huge
Yeah.
and like there's so much mythology and like I've died a lot of times. It's a really hard game even on normal, but
Oh yeah.
I've I've yelled at my screen multiple times. But it's yeah, it's such a fun game. I love everything about it. It's a great game.
What about you, Marvel DC fan? What do you think about this news for God of War?
For me, like, I'm really glad the game is doing so well and that people are playing it and it's getting the praise that it deserves. Um, Me personally, I haven't had the chance to pick it up yet. I've been so busy with in-laws coming in, which is actually the reason I wasn't on the last podcast. But um, so hopefully soon, when my paycheck comes in, I'm gonna go get God of War and then have this experience because I've been holding off. I haven't seen anything yet, and I've been kind of holding my expectations sort of high. So I hope it's really good.
No. All right. What about you, Talade? What do you think about this news?
About God of War is just as fantastic news because I've got a friend who's actually completed God of War. She's going for platinum it, and she's basically said, "Okay, I'm gonna complete this." And it's like, I'm just like, "Wow, you're gonna really complete God of War?" And she's like, "Yep." And she spent at least more than 15 hours just trying to finish this game. She spent, I think she spent 15 hours streaming it, then 10 hours, and she was on that game for quite a while. So it's very addictive. So, so, but I think the whole thing is a really good output and very, very good on terms of sales and everything. Just hopefully, but if they do have a DLC, it'll bring back the hype again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Some other news. God of War in the latest update today has received photo mode. And yes, I've been seeing some people having pictures and videos for photo mode for it, and it looks pretty damn gorgeous. These shots that people are taking, and very much like Horizon Zero Dawn and photo mode, and how people are capturing these like awesome moments. And I think I might even do the same. Probably post them on Twitter to get like the best shots possible. And it's gonna be great. And it's like that game is also meant like for like a photo mode, and I'm kind of glad that they're supporting it in that way, and I think it's cool. What about you, Inspector?
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like I personally never used photo mode. Like I know a lot of people love photo mode, but I've just never used it because I never really paid attention to it.
Mhm.
But and plus I've never like I'm never, especially since I'm done with the game. I don't know if there's like a moment where I would use photo mode, maybe just to capture like a vista or something,
Mhm.
or maybe like when I finally beat all the trials at Muspelheim and get to the top of Muspelheim, I'll take a picture. But
Oh yeah.
man, those trials are really frustrating, man.
Mm-hmm. There's like one portion where you unlock the impossible trials. I've only beaten one impossible trial.
Like I'm having trouble even with the normal trials.
Yeah, I beat all the normal
Like
trials slash
I
hard
think
trials.
I think I'm on like the fourth one, which is like defeat 100 enemies.
Oh yeah, I beat that one.
Yeah, that's tough.
Oh yeah, those trials are tough, and then the Niflheim is also tough too.
Oh, yeah, Niflheim is tough. Like I'm trying to farm the mist. Like I don't know how you can get through Niflheim, because like the enemies are so hard. It's like the visibility is so low, and the traps are really hard to get past.
Oh yeah,
So
dude, I'm like on level 8, and I still get destroyed by these like
yeah,
level 7 Niflheim enemies.
yeah, and like so I'm just like farming mists from the first area. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, in the back areas though, you'll get a lot more mist.
Yeah, but the thing is that are there any mist-free areas over there, or is it just like
Depends, you know what I mean? There's sometimes like areas where there are mist, like near the traps and stuff like that.
yeah,
Once you get in the later ones, like you'll get a lot,
yeah,
but it's hard. Not gonna
yeah,
lie.
it's hard. Yeah.
All right, Marvel DC fan, what do you think about photo mode coming to God of War today? And it probably is already done with the update and whatnot.
I think it's really cool. I've always liked the concept of photo mode in games, and I've used it a lot in Arkham Knight and The Last of Us, so I can't wait to see what kind of shots I can take in God of War. So, yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Talati? What do you think?
I think it'd be very interesting to what type of photos you can really do with God of War.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen it with other games as well. I mean, the first photo mode that I really experienced, was able to do was with Arkham Knight. So you could do incredible shots and stuff. But with God of War, imagine what you could do with that type of shit, like throwing the two things on his arms, or the axe, or shit like that, and it'd be really cool just to see what we could actually imagine we could do with these types of photo mode.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just the update, though, isn't it? So
Yep. Now I guess I'll talk about like kind of like my final impressions, and I'll make a full like in-depth review for God of War. But as of now, yeah, I beat the game. I'm still playing the game. Still trying to beat the. There's 9 Valkyries. I've beaten 8 so far, so I
I
have to
can't even
face.
beat one.
Huh? You've
I
only
can't
beaten
even
one?
beat one. I can't even beat
Oh
one.
snap! Can't even beat one.
Whenever I try, I just get destroyed.
I'm facing the Valkyrie Queen, and dude, I get frustrated. Like anytime I face her, I'll get her on her like second last like small health bar, and I
Yeah.
die.
Like I've tried a couple different Valkyries, I just get destroyed whenever I try. Like I'm trying to like upgrade my armor and stuff, and it's just not working. I just get destroyed.
Gotta do those parries sometimes.
I know, but even though like most of the time they break your parries.
Well, the red ones are like where they break your parries. That's where you gotta dodge. Yellow ones you're able to parry. You just gotta parry in the right moment. If you don't parry in the right moment, because there's sometimes like they do a follow up attack, then you're kind of like screwed there. But if you like parry in the right moment, you interrupt their attack, and then you're able to get in more hits and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm up to there. I still haven't finished all of Mustafa. Dang it, I always
The
mess up.
trials.
The trials of trials there. I haven't finished Niflheim. I just got finished Valkyrie, and then I gotta collect the. I'm missing one shrine, which I'm surprised about. I don't know what shrine it is, to be honest. So hopefully I'll look over and see what it is.
Explored everywhere in Midgard and like have you explored everywhere like 100%? Or you
That's. I'm gonna have to look it up. Hopefully it's in the bestiary or something.
The things that are gonna kill me are those ravens. Like when you
Oh snap! Odin's ravens, his spies. Yeah. That's hella annoying. In reality, though, in the whole game, I guess Odin's looking at us all the time.
Yeah.
Also, combat great. I love the different rune attacks and whatnot, and upgrading those rune attacks is really cool. I really like the axe a lot, and dude, it never gets old pressing triangle and having the axe come back to you.
Yeah.
Like I love that feel to it, and I love how like fluid it is, how tactile, and how like you cannot button mash, because if you button mash in this game, you're never gonna win this game.
Yeah.
In all reality, it's just impossible. And then some people will. I've seen some videos where some people are trying to like clear a room with throwing axes. Yeah, there's some enemies that will like automatically dodge your axes attack.
Yeah, like the
when throwing.
Wolvers and the Revenants.
Yeah, which I'm like, dude, it's never gonna work. Which I love how some like these like game like somehow people that don't play the games like, oh yeah, you could just throw the axe all the time. It's like, yeah, definitely with the werewolves and the revenants. Yeah, that's totally possible of throwing the axe and being able to kill a room from. No,
Yeah,
you haven't
also
played the game.
the
Just stop
travelers,
it.
the travelers with like the big armor guys with the shields. Like
Yeah,
that doesn't work. Those guys are
exactly. Yeah, when
frustrating.
people say that stuff though, like you can throw an axe and like beat a room full and no.
No.
You don't know what you're talking about because you didn't play the game. But yeah, combat's fun. It's hard, but it's fun. I'm playing it on the second hardest
I'm
difficulty.
playing on normal and it's still hard.
Yeah, and then the hardest difficulty, dude. Enemies will level up if you don't beat them in time. It's hard to juggle enemies. Certain enemies won't be able to be juggled and whatnot.
Have you found all the dragons yet?
Yeah, I found all the dragons already.
Yeah, I just need one more.
The other one should be.
I found the one on like the top corner of the map. I found the one like the first one you have is like a favor from Sindri. And then the second one I did when I was just doing a side quest and it just popped
That
up.
was like the dwarf turned dragon, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was the dwarf turned dragon, and then the second one was finding the whetstone. And when you find the whetstone, there's a dragon in there, so I just freed that one.
Whetstone.
Whetstone is another favor from Sindri.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
You go to the storeroom and
what about the Thor statue? Like, did you do the one with the Thor statue?
Before it got eaten?
No, like there's another like Thor Island statue type of thing.
Oh no, I haven't done that one yet.
You have to open the gates.
Wait. No, I don't know. Maybe I did that one.
It's like a big like water type gate. You open it and you go into that section and there's like a dragon in that area.
Yeah, probably not. I don't recall. I'm lighting all the towers, like the realm towers in the lake.
Yeah.
Right now. And I'm finding all the realm tears too.
Oh yeah, the realm tears, yeah. Those are like some are easy and some are really hard.
Yeah.
Because it depends on when you do them too. Yeah. By the way, FYI for people, if you start the game and you see an enemy with purple health, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
That basically means they're they're a higher level than you. So don't even try.
Nightmares are also really annoying.
Yep.
Nightmares. You have to hit them out of the sky before they get into another person, because if they get into an enemy, they regenerate health.
Yep, exactly. Enemies are great. A story is awesome. It has these twists and turns, and at the ending of the ending, like there's several twists at the ending. There's one at the ending.
What sucks is that I kind of got spoiled from one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't want to say it here since Marvel DC fan hasn't played the game.
Yeah, exactly.
But I kind of got spoiled because like I was on the God of War wiki, like,
oh snap,
because I was just like having fun just searching stuff, and I searched something and then I scrolled through. I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and then that was like the main twist at the end of the game. I'm like, oh. Like one of the main twists, not like the main twist, but like one of the twists. Yeah. Like I still like the twist, but since I kind of got spoiled from it, it was like, oh.
Yeah. There's several twists at the ending. It's like you find you're at this like place and it's like, oh snap. And then you see these murals and you're like, oh snap. And then you see the last mural, you're like, oh gosh. And then you're like, the last mural, you're like, oh gosh. That's because it's covering cloth, and Marvel DC fan won't know until he plays it. And then you're like, wait, why is that action happening there? And then when you find out the last twist, you're like, that makes sense now. And it makes sense that a reference to a certain character. And I'm just like, it all makes sense. It really does.
And that secret ending.
Yeah, and the secret ending, is awesome too. I won't say what because I don't want anyone to kind of keep that suspense whether or not people stay alive or dead. But yeah, the story is awesome. It's like simple, but it's not like it's like it starts off simple to you delivering the ashes to your family, your wife's ashes to the highest peak of the realms, and then you find yourself into a very interesting situations and how to get there. But yeah, overall awesome. Interactions are great. Atreus, you'll love him, you'll hate him, you'll love him, you'll hate him, then you'll love him again, and you're like, great development.
Fire incoming 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
You get annoyed from him.
Oh yeah.
Whenever you fight someone, and he says fire incoming or watch out behind you.
Yeah. I love his character and his development, and it's a love and hate type of relationship, and it's awesome how he develops, and then you'll be like, no, this dude, I will whoop your ass. No, it's like the way you're acting right now, man. You got some issues, man. But then towards the end, it's great.
And the
overall,
boss fight.
The boss fights, there's like these 3 awesome boss fights, and like it's very tense and awesome.
It starts personal. Off with an awesome boss fight.
Oh yeah, it's like tense and personal, and I like that. But yeah, like the score, and I've always said that, and I've said it before, like listening, like playing the game, like the score is amazing. Bear McCree is a amazing composer, and I still listen to that score sometimes, like before I even go to bed or whatnot, and just like listen to it randomly. Like the soundtrack is awesome. He's very talented, to say the least. But yeah, graphics too, phenomenal. And I think this was a gem, to say the least, and it is my favorite game for this generation. And maybe The Last of Us Part 2 will take it. Who knows? Competition breeds greatness from each developer, especially in the Sony first-party studios. And so far this is great. I loved it. Loved every second of it. And the story was touching. And I cannot wait if there's another sequel. 10 out of 10 for me. I'll go more in depth with a review video. And I guess we'll go with Inspector, and then can't say anybody else because you got Taladia, who doesn't own a PS4, and the Marvel DC fan gotta get his God of War copy.
Okay, you don't have to rub it in that I don't have a PS4.
Hey man, I just gotta say, man, once you get one,
I don't have a PS4.
I know. I'm saying once you get one, you'll experience greatness.
Greatness awaits, Claudia.
Please don't, because I've already had my friend go. She's in love with Kratos.
Kratos is a boss.
Yeah. I pretty much echo everything you said. You say it's an amazing game. The scope is amazing. The scope is huge, but the scope doesn't overshadow the deeply personal story that this is between, it's basically both a redemption for Kratos and also it just develops his character so much, especially his bond with Atreus, and it's serious, but there's also humor, and the humor is great in the game. It's not forced at all. Some of the jokes I just laugh. I just chuckle a lot during with the jokes. There's a lot of great twists. As I said, the boss fights are awesome. The side quests are I would probably give it a 9.5. Just because I do feel like there are some points in the game where it does slow down a bit, and also there there are some points where it kind of does get annoyingly frustrating at times. And I'm not saying like difficulty is not always like it's not always a criticism, but and also there are times when just like sometimes Atreus might get annoying with like repetitive dialogue during fights and like that stuff. It's just like minor nitpicks.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Like 9.5, maybe like 9.8 probably. Like there's 9.8, I would say, out of 10.
Yep. Yeah, once I'm done with all that, I'll probably replay it again.
Yeah.
Replayed that.
Isn't there a New Games Plus?
No, there's not. I don't know if they're gonna do one. They might. Horizon Zero Dawn didn't have a New Games Plus, and then they updated it with a New Games Plus. So they
like,
made.
Yeah, I still need to find like all the chests and stuff. And I still have like one unexplored region, like a few unexplored regions in Midgard. I have one unexplored region in Alfheim. I still haven't explored Hell, like all of Hell yet. So I have a lot of stuff to go. And I only have like 40% of Midgard explored.
Mm-hmm.
And like the realm I'm most done with is Alfheim. Like I have like 75% of Alfheim done. I'm just missing like a few chests and stuff, and that's all.
Alrighty. Well, that is it for gaming side. We got one TV side and then not many movie sides. But yeah, so TV side, I want to say, now if you guys are a fan of The Witcher, we all know that the Witcher Netflix series will be coming out whenever. They did say they confirmed to have 10 episodes, which is not the normal 13 episodes, which is very interesting. But they've announced who the writers will be for this Netflix show. So the writers' room for Netflix is in development. The Witcher series has opened, and Daredevil and Jessica Jones writer Sneha Horse and Jenny Clean have joined the team. Showrunner Lauren Hisrick announced the news in a tweet. I can't imagine a better day. The Witcher writers' room opened today, and it was full of ideas and banter and cupcakes of creativity and darkness and champagne and this hilarious picture that's better than any of the post-group selfies I've attempted. It's happening. Following several members of the team announced their involvement, bringing a wealth of experience to the upcoming TV adaptation. Super stoked to be writing for this amazing show, helmed by the absolute brilliant at Al Hisrich. What a great room, as you can see by our very serious day one room portrait. Witcher, #Witcher is gonna rock the Netflix. And yeah, super stoked to be writing for this amazing show, wrote Jenny Clean on Twitter. Clean has previously worked on Marvel's Jessica Jones, Amazon's The Tick, and CW's The Supernatural. Me neither. Love this boss lady and the group of near-do-wells she's gathered. She's so thrilled to be part of the gang. Yeah, so she also, her previous work includes credits on Daredevil, Constantine, and the Americans. I heard Constantine. I watched Constantine. I thought it was a great show. It's problems why I didn't continue was the platform it came on. I forgot what the platform was. Then I went to CW, and still didn't get a show. It's just I think that wherever Constantine was, they had super high expectations for it to. It's crazy numbers they were expecting it to do, which I was like, no, it's not going to do those numbers, even before it came out. But yeah, Daredevil is great in terms of writing, and the Americans as well. Oh, I lied. Sorry, guys. It's 8 episodes for a season, and it's supposed to come out 2020 at the earliest. So, yeah, they're going to move on. They're, going to write, and they already have the outline done. The showrunner did the outline, so they're going to do everything, creating and, putting in the dot, connecting dots with the outline. But overall, I'm fine with the writers for this. I'm a big The Witcher fan, and having a action / writer on board along with a drama person, because The Witcher has a lot of action and also a lot of drama, so it makes sense to get those writers on board for it. And for me, I'm a big fan of both the games and also the books. So to me, it sounds good. Wish there were more episodes, though. Wish there was at least 10, not 8. And hopefully this is longer than 1 hour. But overall, that's just me. We'll go with Marvel DC fan. What do you think about this news having the writers for Jessica Jones and Daredevil writers on this show and it being 8 episodes and all that?
Well, first off, when you said 10, I was a little kind of like, really? I was like, usually it's either like 8 or 13, but anyway, I'm excited. I'm not really as big of a Witcher fan as you are, but I still enjoy the games. I really enjoyed The Witcher 3. And hearing that the writers of Daredevil and Jessica Jones are doing it makes me more anxious to see it, because I've enjoyed their work, especially the first seasons of those respected shows. So, yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. Quick thoughts, Inspector. You think that's good news, bad news, or?
Good news. Like, I've never really played The Witcher, so I have no stake in this. So, I'm happy for The Witcher fans. I assume it's going to be a good show since those writers on it, like Daredevil, Jessica Jones wasn't really my thing. So,
yeah. All right. Got you. Claudia, what do you think about
that? I'm the same as Inspector.
Writing. So, we got interesting news for Deadpool. Deadpool 2 originally featured Wade Wilson as a dad.
What?
Yeah, the Merc with a Mouth is originally going to be a father in Deadpool 2, but Wade Wilson's shenanigans made it too complicated. The genesis of it was, what if Deadpool has a child? Like, what if we start 5 years later? What would be like that? Reynolds told EW by page 1.5. It was totally untenable. We were just like, nope, no. This is never going to work. Makes sense. I don't know what possessed the idea from the writers to do that. Like, oh, let's have Deadpool as a dad, and I don't know. And I'm kind of glad Ryan Reynolds was like, yeah, no, that makes no sense. It's just Deadpool, to me, like, he'll have close relationships, sure, but to the point as a father, no, just wouldn't fit character in terms of he's just not a responsible character, so it doesn't make sense for him to father a child and being part of that child's life. It just wouldn't fit the character, and I'm glad that they didn't follow through with that. Now, it's kind of, I guess, in a way, we see the movie of him protecting a kid. I guess in essence, it's still kind of there, but not to the point of him actually being a real father. So that's just me. I'm glad that they cut it out early on. It makes sense, but I don't know why. I don't know what happened in that writer's room, but I'm glad it's out. What do you think, Inspector? What do you think was going on in their heads to make Deadpool originally as a dad?
I have no idea. It was probably Ryan Reynolds' idea, because he's like the main, I guess, brainchild behind this whole Deadpool thing. And I think since Tim Miller left, I think like he's like a executive producer and a producer, so he's like pitching all these ideas. And like he is the one that brought the new director in after Tim Miller left. He's like, hey, I want this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know if it was, like, I don't know if that dynamic would have worked in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
But I guess since they're going after like a kid in the movie, and that's like kind of the main like MacGuffin of the movie is this kid.
Yeah.
So he's kind of gonna become like a semi-father, I guess, depending on how the relationship is with the kid.
Yeah.
So it's interesting,
Yeah.
but it's really weird also.
Mm. Yeah, Marvel DC fan, what do you think? What about hearing about this? Like, what do you think those writers were thinking?
I think like they were just coming up with whatever came to mind, because hearing that, like, I wouldn't trust Deadpool as a parent of like anything. So like just the fact that idea actually like was thought of is just absurd to me for a character like Deadpool. But I mean, like, maybe that sort of kind of transitioned over to like how like they're going after this kid in the movie. So I don't know what the idea like about him as a father was. So I don't know. So
Yeah, I got you. What about you, Talado? What do you think
About because I lost track.
of the writers like originally having Deadpool as a father, and Ryan Reynolds was like, "Nah, fam, that makes no sense."
It makes no sense. Firstly, that be Deadpool to be a father.
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense. And the second thing is Ryan Reynolds will never sign up to that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
So, got some breaking and breaking and breaking.
Breaking news.
Actually, no,
We'll flip to breaking
not doing the
news.
breaking news. It was a very interesting. I guess you said parody. Basically, Deadpool demands your silence. Thanos demands your silence. Parody. This is interesting. I thought it was kind of funny. We don't have to go into it much. I just wanted to just say that quickly. It was pretty cool. It's Ryan Reynolds, tweeted it, and I thought it was hilarious. Pretty funny reading it. But yeah, it was cool. Here we go with the breaking news for Comcast. Oh boy, it seems like they may be getting what they want, right? I am surprised, to say the least, that Comcast may potentially displace the Disney deal. It looks as though Comcast is preparing a bid to buy Fox assets ahead of Disney's upcoming deal. Reuters reports multiple sources have said Comcast Corp is attempting to get bridge financing from investment banks in order to place a cash bid for 21st Century Fox assets. This funding could be up to an additional $60 billion on top of the $30 billion Comcast has already offered for a majority stake in European pay TV group Skypick or Plick. This large bid could dispute the Walt Disney Company's deal to purchase the Fox assets for $52.4 billion in stocks. While it's not 100% certain exactly which properties could be a part of the deal, yada yada. Comcast bid on Fox properties is dependent on the ruling of the U.S. Department of Justice regarding AT&T's attempt to acquire Time Warner Inc. as Fox rejected Comcast bid last year due to antitrust concerns. So, do I think that Comcast will be getting 21st Century Fox? Answer is no for me. Because it's like two things, right? Disney has money. It's just easily that they can just be like, okay, we'll put 65 billion then. It's not hard for Disney. They have the fucking money. They can. It's like basically a contest of who has more money, essentially. Then, and they could just do it. They're not financially hurting at all. they're making a ton of money here and there, and they want to get this guy TV type of thing for their own streaming service and whatnot. And also, we're hearing about the Comcast. I didn't even know about this. That Fox rejected Comcast bid last year due to antitrust concerns. So you have that into factor too. Why they rejected them on that front as well. So I feel like those antitrust concerns will be very pivotal when Comcast tries to buy them, and these antitrust concerns will be out in front and out in the open. And I don't think that Fox wants to deal with that. But what do you think, Inspector? What do you think about this whole Comcast news and going for that $60 billion? You think they're going to go through, or you think the mouse is just going to be like, yo, $65 billion? And also the antitrust concerns and whatnot with the Comcast bid.
Yeah, I think Comcast has no chance. I get what they're doing. They're trying to ape off the publicity of this deal, but I just think Disney is just going to. This is going to be like an auction where Disney just keeps going higher and higher until Comcast isn't any slouch because Comcast owns Universal.
Yeah,
so they have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they don't own 40 or 50% of the market like Disney does.
Yeah.
So
and a lot.
Yeah, so I don't think Comcast has a chance against Disney. And I know there's a lot of antitrust things going on, especially with this Disney and Fox thing, because this deal was announced last year, wasn't it? Last summer.
Was it summer?
Last fall?
No, I thought it was
December.
Fall. Yeah. No, I thought it was fall,
December,
November, maybe.
Yeah. So
either late November or early December-ish.
Yeah, and knowing all the problems that these Fox movies are going through, New Mutants getting constantly pushed back, and the only movie that is actually coming out this year is Deadpool, when they originally had 3 movies coming out.
3 to 4 or something like that.
Yeah, 3, because they had New Mutants that was supposed to come out last month, but it then got pushed back twice. And then Dark Phoenix was supposed to come out in November, and then that got pushed back to February of next year. So Fox isn't really in a good spot. So I think that's just because of all this antitrust thing, kind of the same thing with the AT&T Time Warner deal, where they're going through a lot of antitrust things, and everything's being all flipped around and stuff at WB with all the merger stuff going on with AT&T.
Oh yeah, that. And yeah, I thought it was just interesting that Fox rejected Comcast bid due to antitrust concerns, which I guess for Disney it's different for some reason. I don't know. It's weird at that part. Marvel DC fan, what do you think about this breaking news for Comcast? You think Comcast is getting Fox, or you think Disney's just gonna be like, booyah, here's more money?
In terms of Comcast buying Fox, absolutely not. Disney, they have way more share in terms of movie business and stuff like that, and Disney has money, so it might as well be in that kind of auction situation where they'll bid higher and higher, and then Comcast will just kind of say they'll have enough. So if anything, I don't think it's really gonna happen, honestly. So
yeah. What about you, Talati? What do you think? Do you think Comcast is getting Fox, or do you think Disney is, and all that?
I think Comcast is going to be bought by Fox, not by Disney.
What?
Damn, son.
You mean Fox is going to be bought? No, you mean no. Comcast is trying to buy Fox. I think you're getting mixed up.
Yeah, I'm
Comcast is
saying
trying,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
Comcast
I'm
is trying to
the
buy
time of
Fox
year.
under Disney.
Oh, then
Comcast is trying to outbid Disney for Fox.
Yeah.
no, it's not gonna happen.
Okay.
I got confused there because I'm just off a week. So
I got you.
I was
Damn, I was
confused
gonna
too. I
say,
was like,
damn, son.
What?
Listen, man.
Fox is going to
They're
buy
gonna flip the script.
Comcast. What?
They're gonna flip the script on us.
I'm fucking
Damn,
half a
son.
week. So you can't blame me on that one.
Fox was not having troubles as we thought.
Oh, man.
Yeah. All right. So now we got a couple like sub Avenger news, and then we're done. So Avengers, and then we got a couple comics and as well. Okay. So gotta say this quickly. Everyone's seen Avengers, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
We're not gonna talk spoilers yet. We're gonna just talk some of the news. Avengers: Infinity War is the fastest to cross the $1 billion.
Not surprised.
I don't know. I was there. I was surprised. I didn't think so. I'm pretty sure I said it wasn't, but whatever. I am the minority for my prediction. Also, Avenger Infinity War shatters China box office pre-sale records. The Hollywood reports the third Avengers movie has garnered 47.5 million in pre-sales as of late Wednesday night in Beijing. It's now eclipsed Monster Hunt 2, never heard of it, which earned about 47 million in pre-sales back in January. The Fate of Furies, which released in 2017, was Hollywood's previous record holder in China with an estimated 25 million in pre-sales. Avengers: Age of Ultron is China's biggest earning superhero movie, having made 240 million in 2015. A total analyst believes Infinity War can reach as well. It opens theater on May 11th in China. Avengers: Infinity War has earned 1.16 billion globally, becoming the fifth highest grossing superhero movie of all time. The film has also had the biggest opening weekend ever domestically, making $250 million. I guess we'll just talk about that. Yeah, the numbers are pretty insane in terms of it. They're about to beat the first Avengers movie, which makes sense. And China, it's opening this Friday, which we're gonna see how much it's gonna make overall in China. Do I think it's gonna break the 2 billion? I don't think so. That's just me though. Overall, it's a feat. Yeah, it's a big feat that they've done, and it looks like it's gonna outpace Last Jedi, and it deserves all the money it's been making. It's very stressful project to be made. A lot of actors in it, and a lot of planning. A lot of money was put into this movie. A lot. Along with a lot of marketing. And it's like 10 years in the making, like people have said. So it deserves, everything it's gotten. Spectre, what do you think about the numbers? Do you think, what do you think in general? How much do you think is going to make in China?
In China?
Yeah.
I can't really predict that. I don't know, 250.
250, right?
All together, not like opening weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, opening weekend probably like 50 million.
50 million opening weekend?
50 million, somewhere around there.
Yeah, because the pre-sale tickets right now are 47.5 million. That's I'm assuming Friday night or Thursday night.
Already at like 1.2 something billion.
Yeah, 1.16 billion.
Yeah. I assume usually, especially like with the size that this movie is, it's probably going to be in theaters for about, I don't know, like 5 or so months, which is like twice as long as the usual.
Kind of like The Force Awakens was too.
Yeah, because usually movies are in theaters for about 2 months.
Yeah, around.
And since this one is huge, it's probably going to be like 5.5, maybe 6 months.
Dude, Black Panther was still in theaters until
Black Panther.
The movie, the Blu-ray is about to come out. Like it's already on digital.
Yeah, it's still in theaters though. Like
Yeah, it's still in theaters. Yeah.
Still in theaters, but like small amount of theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think like let's see, Ant-Man comes out in July, so it's probably gonna be out of theaters by August, I would assume.
Yeah, supposedly the Blu-ray and digital is like August 14th. It comes out.
I still have a problem with these next two movies not being like taking place after Infinity War.
Yeah, we'll talk about that soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you think it's crack? I think you initially said it's gonna crack a 2 billion. Are you gonna change that?
I didn't say that. I said
Okay.
close to 2 billion. I think I said like 1.7.
Okay. I thought you said 2 billion for some reason.
No, I said I wouldn't like. I didn't predict it. I think my words were like I didn't predict that it was going to break it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
Okay.
I think those were my words.
Okay.
When we were doing box office predictions.
Okay.
I still stand by like 1.7 probably total.
Mm-hmm. All right. What do you think, Marvel DC fan? The numbers.
I mean, like, it's really good. Glad the movie's doing so well. I mean, like, it's Marvel and the Avengers, so like the Avengers makes money, so that's all good. So, like for like China and stuff, I honestly don't have a number for myself, but if I had to say anything, it would probably be around what Inspector said. So
all right. Yeah. All right, Claudio, what do you think about the numbers?
I think about the numbers is really, really good. I went to go watch the Avengers movie the first weekend. Mm-hmm. So obviously the numbers were really, really high that weekend. First opening weekend was really, really good. But like I think it made about 650 worldwide. That's including the UK. But in terms of China, I'm gonna say about 350, 400. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? Like, I mean, it's 350. Is that close enough to what Inspector says, or is it a little bit?
I said 250, but like I wouldn't be surprised if it makes over 300.
Yeah, I'm thinking about around about 300, 350.
Yeah,
I think.
Because they said Age of Ultron made 240, right, Redhead?
Age of Ultron made, I think it was 250. I think. Let me pull it up. 240. Yeah, 240.
Yeah. So it's gonna make more than Age of Ultron, but like I don't know how much more.
Mm-hmm. I'm interested in seeing how much it's gonna make the third week.
I think it'll make a lot still, because don't forget, it basically is the best-selling movie of all time. It knocked out The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
So
I want to say this though, before we're going to talk about the movie. Dude, there was a Spider-Man PS4 before like the previews and whatnot. Like there was an ad for the Avengers and Infinity War spider costume, and everyone was talking about it. It's like, dude, this game is gonna be really, really good. I was like, oh shit, people are talking about this. I didn't think like people would know about this game and stuff like that. And I was like, wow. I was like, the hype's gonna get real for this game. Very like, I was happy when I heard that. I was like, damn, son, I'm not the only one in the theater that knew about this game. Like I was like, it's gonna have that mass appeal. All right, okay. So we're gonna talk now about Avengers: Infinity War. I guess yes, we're gonna talk spoilers. The movie's been out for
2 weeks.
2 weeks now, and we're gonna just kind of talk everything and give theories and give our thoughts on the movie. I guess I'm gonna say this. We'll do a non-spoiler right now. And then we'll go into spoilers and say you'll spoil it. Okay, I've seen the movie 3 times. 3 times in IMAX. What can I say? I'll say this: if you have not seen this movie with previous MCU movies, you're not gonna understand jack shit.
Yeah.
That's right off the bat.
That's the problem with like all the Russo's movies, though, especially like Winter Soldier and especially Civil War. Like, if you haven't seen the previous ones, you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna.
Oh yeah, that's right off the bat. Like, if you have not watched any of the previous MCU movies and you go into this, you're just gonna be confused, and some decisions and weights will not resonate with you at all. And it's just like, it is what it is. Like, it's supposed to be a culmination of everything. So it's like, yeah, I want to get that out the way there. For me, what I'll say about this, I liked. See, there's not like, I can't really describe a lot, but in a non-spoiler way, I liked the action set pieces. I liked the character interactions. I liked some of the humor. Some fell flat, but I think 60 to 70% hit with me. Majority of the CGI was really, really good. There were some low points for the CGI, but majority of it was high points with like Thanos and everything. And talk about Thanos, good villain. He was a really good villain. And they needed him to be a good villain. If they did not hit that, this movie would have fell apart. And I'm glad they got him as a good villain. I liked his motivations. I liked his performance was good. Josh Brolin was good casting for Thanos. What else can I say? Without spoiling, it's hard to.
It's hard to basically, guys. It's going to be hard for us to really do a non-spoiler.
Yeah, I'll say, I like the action. Thanos is the main character of the film, essentially, and for me, I was always at an 8.5 for the movie, but after seeing it about the third time, I was like 8.5 or 9. After the third time, I was like, you know what? I really like this movie. I'm leaning more towards the 9, but yeah, for me, like the character interactions, 60 to 70% of the humor landed. Majority of the CGI was really, really good. There were some low points, but not as much. Like, there's not a lot of low points. So that's like kind of like my overall, like, not in-depth review, because there's not much to kind of like, it's hard to review. We'll see if Inspector can do this better than me.
Probably not.
No, it's hard, I guess.
Like you said, great action. I did like the character interactions. I think they paired off the characters well. As you said, some of the humor landed, some of it didn't. I feel the beginning was a bit choppy in terms of how it was executed and how it was like jumping from place to place, just setting up every plot line. I think it kind of got jumpy a bit, but it smoothed out. Like, it smoothed out like 45 minutes in after like it set up everything. Thanos was a really good villain. He had good motives. He was sympathetic. I don't want to say too sympathetic.
No. He's not too some. I'm just like, nah, fam. Not too some.
I don't know. Maybe they tried to make him too sympathetic in the way, like, we'll get into spoilers, but yeah. As you said, the CGI was pretty good. There was some there's shoddy CGI in every comic book movie, so it's not really like that big of a complaint. But I do have a few like big complaints, but those are going to be safe for spoilers. Overall, I would give it like an 8.5.
Right.
I really liked it, but not my like, I would say like top 4.
All right, Marvel DC fan, what do you think?
I've seen the movie twice at this point, and like, thinking about the first time, the movie was great. Like, the cast, they all did their parts really well. Like, the standout one for me was Thanos. CGI was, for the most part, it was really good, but there were some occasions where it kind of took me out a little bit, which we'll talk about in a bit. And without really spoiling much, it did something that I haven't really seen in a comic book movie in a while, and that it really surprised me at points with how it went. But yeah, but we'll talk about it more when we're allowed to spoil it. So if I had to give it a score, it would probably be, I'm like switching back and forth between like a 9 or like a 9.5, but I think for now it's a 9. So.
Okay. All right, Taladia, without spoiling much, I guess. Well, what do you think?
It's hard to really do an unspoiler. The only thing I'll say, good CGI, good interaction between the characters, and for me it was, well, I went to watch it once. I can say is overall I gave it a 9.5. Because just the way it was just two things, and I've watched all the Marvel movies, so I pretty much knew what's going on.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, guys, this is spoilers. Mute, do whatever, leave. I don't know. These are for people that I guess. For people that have, seen the movie and want to like discuss it, so I just want to quickly say, I really liked how the movie opened up, and what I mean by that is, how like the little Marvel Studios logo pops up, right? You're expecting, the music, right? And I was like, okay, let's hear it. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? I was like, oh shit, this is no bueno. It's like not in terms of quality. I was like, oh, this is a dark mood right now, and sets up with the Asgardians and whatnot. Thanos already has the Power Stone. Find out that he's already decimated Xandar, and he's there from after Thor Ragnarok to collect the what's the stone? I always forget the name.
Space Stone, the Tesseract.
Yeah, the gravity or galaxy stone from the Tesseract, because Loki stole it in Thor Ragnarok. We see already that he's killed about half of the Asgardian population there, and spared the other half. So what he ended up doing, he had to interrogate and whatnot. He we see the Black Order there, the children of Thanos. Then Thor's already like destroyed and beaten to like a bloody pulp. And I did like the torture scene of Thor. It was like, gosh dang. It felt like, oh shit, is he gonna like pop his head off? Like, oh gosh. And no, we did see like a brief interaction with Hulk against Thanos, and Thanos just destroys the Hulk in such a satisfying way. And dude, I loved being in my theater because people were like at opening night gasping like, oh shit, like people like were like looking every like, oh my gosh, Hulk is destroyed. And Heimdall uses black magic to send off Hulk to Earth to save them, essentially, and warn them. People were like, oh, how does Heimdall, do that if he's not, the Bifrost? It's because of dark magic. They've explained this in like Thor: The Dark World and whatnot. He's able to use that magic, the transportation through dark magic, which is kind of like forbidden magic. And, he ends up dead. Didn't care for his death because, and Idris Elba doesn't care for the character, And the thing is, like, he never showed up to a Marvel premiere since Thor: The Dark World. So kind of shows how much he cares as well. Yeah, I just didn't care for his death, and it's like, okay. Then you have, Loki. Loki as well dies trying to, save Asgard, save, his brother to, kill Thanos. Doesn't work. Thanos straight up strangles him, kills him, and that's such a powerful moment. And you see, like, Loki just straight up dead for a while, and like his eyes are like bluish, right? Like Bifrost blue, or like the Bifrost shines, like blue eyes, basically, and red. And that's such a powerful moment. And then, they leave and it's destroyed. And I thought that was a powerful moment. Now, am I sobbing? No, but I was like, gosh dang, Thor loses another family member. Like, this dude essentially is just like, he loses everything. He loses his dad, his mom, his brother. I mean, no one cares about his sister, but and his like adopted brother. It's like, shit. I felt bad. Like, it's like, it's so lifeless. And I was like, wow. But yeah, we talked about that. But overall, what do you guys think about the first like couple death scenes there? Inspector, what do you think about that?
The Heimdall one didn't really hit me because, as you said, like, Idris Elba hasn't really done anything in the Thor movies, except for like stand at the bridge, like Heimdall, like Heimdall does. And Loki's death, I think we saw coming from the trailers. So I'm just like, like Loki's death. It's weird because my theater experiences are always the complete opposite of people, because like you and like a bunch of other people, like your audiences interact. My audience stays quiet throughout the whole movie.
Damn. No, like, I'll straight up say, like, before the theaters, like, someone just came in. It's like 10 years in the making, baby, and everyone was screaming uproar. It was insane.
Yeah,
and like when the Marvel Studios logo showed up, everyone started clapping too. Like, it's like, so interactive.
My theaters are so passive. Like, the only active theater experience that I've had is when I went to see Wonder Woman early last year, and like everyone was like laughing and cheering and all that stuff during that. But other than that, like, my normal theater going experiences are just like really subdued. Like, no gasps, no cheers, no anything. Like, not even at the end of the movie, like no applause. Like, even though I don't really like when people clap at the end of movies. But yeah, like the deaths were fine. Like, they didn't really. Plus, Loki. How many times has Loki died? Like, this is probably like a real time, but like,
yeah, that is like straight up real. I don't think they're doing that. Which
whenever I think of Loki now, I just think of that scene where Ragnarok records like "Piss off, ghosts," and then he like kicks.
Dude, I love that scene. I love so much.
Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Ragnarok, but that scene cracks me up every time.
Dude, I watched that movie just recently. Dude, I fucking like died again watching it. Oh shit.
Yeah, but I love like, the beginning was fine. As I said, like the beginning was kind of stiff for me because it was like jumping around a lot to the different plots. But
yeah. So we'll go to Marvel DC fan. What do you think about the intro, the opening intro? The Hulk fight, Heimdall's death, Loki's death, and all that, and how like the movie opened without music too.
Yeah, like, I mean, the opening was like, it was fine. Like, the death scenes, they didn't really leave too much impact for me, because for one, Heimdall was never a character that like as like audience really got to know thoroughly, and like Loki died like 2-3 times at this point, so like kind of just lost a little bit of tenderness there. But like when Hulk got decimated by Thanos, like that was a bit of a shock just for how like brutal it was.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, like the intro itself is fine for the most part.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Talata? What do you think? The opening and whatnot.
I think the opening was very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Very powerful, very strong. I was like, damn, fucking Hulk getting bashed up. Damn savages. And then the whole Loki scene. Oh boy. He messed with the wrong person. So but I think overall that was really good, man.
Yeah. And so then we get, the interactions between Tony, Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange being kidnapped by the Black Order, and Hulk being, caught up to speed about Civil War and whatnot. And then Spider-Man joining the fray and then being torn up, being flown up, and then he got the Iron Spider suit. And then we find essentially. I won't lie, but did you guys like freaking get a jump scare right when Vision got stabbed and shanked from behind? Like,
No.
I fucking
No.
like I had IMAX like noise, so like that shit was loud as fuck. Like I was like, oh shit! Like I wasn't the only one that jumped because I wasn't expecting it. And with IMAX sound, it's like 10 times as loud as like a regular theater. So
Yeah, like
that
I
got
saw it
me.
in IMAX the first time, and like it didn't do anything to me because like we knew that was the set piece where that fight was going to happen. So we're just like, well, it's just going to happen any minute now. So and then what happened?
I
You're
wasn't
like,
expecting.
all right.
I was like chill. I was like, huh. And I didn't. I was embracing myself for anything with the IMAX. I was like, oh gosh. Yeah, Vision did get this. He basically in the entire movie, like after that, like he wasn't able to face. He wasn't able to heal because the Black Order. I forgot. I always forget their names, even in comics.
I can't remember the
Ebony
names
Maw.
either.
Ebony Maw.
Oh yeah, Ebony Maw is like the leader.
Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight, and Cole Obsidian.
Yeah,
who's
Obsidian's the one that shanked his.
Black Dwarf in the
Mhm.
comics.
Yeah.
They renamed him because I guess Black Dwarf isn't a PC name. I don't know.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
But I do find it weird that Ebony Maw was the leader because Corvus Glaive is usually the leader in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight did like nothing in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like one of my main complaints. The Black Order, they were cool for fights, but they were kind of like the typical Marvel villains, like no developments, and they were kind of
yeah. For me, it's like they were basically cannon fodder, and it's just
I agree on that as well.
Yeah, but I would like to have seen like them more explore of like if they had more scenes with them. I don't know if they did. And they cut those scenes out.
Yeah, because Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight are married, and they give like no indication that they're married. And the whole thing with Corvus Glaive is that like you can kill him, but if his staff is still there, like he can repurpose himself.
Yeah,
just like kill them, and they didn't really mention like the whole staff thing.
Yeah.
No.
So.
But yeah, what other like scenes should we like talk about?
Let's talk about
the Soul Stone scene.
The Soul Stone,
yeah. Dude, that freaking robe effect, fucking like, dude, beautiful. I love that robe effect, like for the Red Skull.
Red Skull.
Yeah, Red Skull.
That was a surprise for me.
Yeah, they used a different actor actually.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a different one.
His name is Ross something.
He did the imitation of the original actor pretty well. I didn't notice. To be honest.
He did good. He was good, but it kind of bummed me out that it wasn't Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, but dude, Hugo he hated like playing Red Skull. Like it seemed like He's like, dude, you do not want me. If they pull up the contract for me to play Red Skull again, you're not gonna like it. And I'm just like, oh shit. Well then, Marvel was just like, well, you don't want to be in. We'll just get somebody else then. They didn't, and I really like the choice.
To be fair though, like if you were like put in that makeup, you'd probably like just be like, you know what, I don't want to do it anymore.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you did sign up for it though. That's the thing.
True.
You essentially knew. You know what I mean?
I felt some of Zoe Saldana's delivery was kind of wooden, but like I haven't really been impressed with Zoe Saldana in the Guardians movies. Like she's okay. Like she kind of has a problem. Like I don't want to say she has a problem with emotion, but sometimes it seems like she's forcing emotion, and I feel like during the whole like thing with Thanos, it's like you never loved anybody or something like that, or like you like oh no, that line was kind of like, oh, you could have delivered that better. But like, I don't know. But with Gamora's death, I'm like, when Gamora died, she got like, whenever a person gets pushed off a cliff, that's such like. At least we saw the body. Yeah. But even if we see the body, like in Black Panther, he got pushed off a cliff, and we saw the body, and he got resurrected in the same movie.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and like, there's already Guardians 3 that's gonna happen, and unless Guardians 3 like deals with the like
Guardians 3, he like confirmed that what did he say essentially? He said that some Guardians will probably not make it out into the next one. That's what James Gunn was saying.
Yeah, but like I would assume like half of the Guardians are gonna come back.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll get more into that.
Star-Lord is gonna come back.
Yeah, I mean we'll get more into that with the ending. But yeah, I don't know. For me, I always liked like Gamora. Like to me, she's always felt like Gamora in the comics. Just like Gamora's never been like this super emotional person in general.
I know, but I don't know. It's just
that's like what I've always gotten in the comics when reading Guardians comics. Like she's never been like this.
But even that, like most of her, she hasn't really gotten that big of an action scene in all the Guardians movies. Like even in like the first, and even in Guardians 2, she didn't really like. She had a part in that like big team action scene at the beginning, but she didn't really have her own action scene.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't really see her like.
Okay, yeah, I would agree that she's never gotten a great action scene that she's ever did with the comics. I agree with that, but in terms of like acting wise, I always felt like she's been like the comic accurate version of Gamora. But that's just me though when reading it and stuff. But overall, no, I really like that the Thanos, Thanos caring about her and stuff like that, and like the mocap for that was great. I really liked it, and it was very powerful, and I was like, oh shit, they're actually doing it. It's like, trading a soul for soul. Like I didn't think like they were for some reason, but I thought it was just like it was always tense when Thanos was there, and you just didn't know how like if he were like, oh, no, you know what, I'll just like go and find your other sister and throw her off. No, but no, he did it because he loved her, and I did like the scenes with the backstory of her in the her home planet and stuff like that. And I liked the introduction for like her like Thanos becoming her father in that scene, and her like teaching about balance and kind of like instructing her on you without resources, if they become scarce due to overpopulation, you're gonna starve. Your planet will go in disarray. And I thought that was always very pivotal to Thanos' motivation, and it made sense. Now, I agree with it? No, I don't agree with it. But no, it made sense. And I I really like that. But no, I guess we got like Inspector's like thoughts on the death scene and what did you think, Marvel DC fan? Did you think like the soul for a soul like thing was gonna happen or no?
For me, like, it was interesting how it was the soul for the stone, but like for like Thanos himself and how much he really cared for Gamora, like there was kind of this presence that he might not have he might not do it, but like he like has devoted his life to finding the stones, and he'll do it by any means necessary. So, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? So, and there was like, it did hit me a little bit, but I mean, like knowing about like they already have Guardians 3 like on the slate, and that knowing that they're probably going to bring some of their more popular Guardians back. So, I mean, a little bit of that like emotion just kind of just left out, especially on the second viewing. So, yeah.
Okay, what about you, Claudia? What do you think about the scene?
I think about the whole soul for soul thing. It's just, I think it's interesting the way they did that. And it's like, okay, what, like the way they did it was like epic. And as well the way Thanos like cried and shit like that. That was deep. I felt for him. I really did think he had feelings for her. So not in that type of perspective, but like as a father-daughter thing, then yeah. But yeah, that's what I've got to say.
All right, I guess we'll talk about the
ending.
The Titan fight scene with Thanos. I really like the Titan fight scene with Thanos. I liked how like each of I did like the face Tony made when he's like Mantis said kick names, take ass. I just loved Downey Jr.'s face. I just like fucking laughed at that face because it seems like such a like Tony Stark thing to do. Like saying like, wow, I am with these type of individuals.
Yeah.
Like I cannot believe it. And I did like the other joke though with like who is Gamora, what is Gamora, why is Gamora. I actually chuckled on that one. Like I actually fucking loved it. Hold on. I know like some people didn't. I thought that was kind of funny for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fight scene for me for Thanos, fucking Doctor Strange did some fucking work though. He did some work there. Also I want to say though, Doctor Strange saw like 14 million possibilities, and only one of them was them winning, and that was like an oh shit moment. Like, oh gosh, like that's not good odds. But like Doctor Strange put in work, Spider-Man did some work too, and Iron Man shined, Spider-Man shined. Like they all had their time to shine, and I really enjoyed that for the fight scenes. Also, I've seen a lot of hate now. A lot of hate. And I'm just like, okay, guys, this is a fictional character. You guys need to chill. I was like, so essentially, you know, they got Thanos to the point where they immobilized him, right? And I feel like people don't realize that once you find out your loved one of yours dies, you kind of act irrationally. And it's like, and it made sense for me. Like I felt like I wouldn't know what I would have done if I had a loved one, just found out that they died. And the killer's right there in front of them. Like, I would act irrationally as well. And it made sense for Star-Lord's character because he acts on impulses 100% of all the time. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
and then the oh shit moment that even I was like, oh shit, are they gonna kill him off of Tony Stark? Right there at that moment when he got like stabbed through. There was a lot of stabbing in this movie. I was surprised, like, damn, son, you got stab galore. Like, are we sure we're watching a PG-13 movie that's from Disney? Like, oh gosh, the stabs. And I was just like, but no, they traded the time stone to save Tony's life, which we're gonna get into the ending and theories as to why that happened. But the fight scene looked fucking awesome though. I really liked it, and it was super tense. And him throwing the moon was cool, but it was like shards of the moon, so to speak. Marvel DC fan, what do you think about that the Titan fight scene?
I mean, like the Titan sequence itself was probably like some of my favorite bits of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like the jokes and like the fight scene itself, and like all of that was really good. About like what Star-Lord, like what all that, like I think for me it also made sense for him to act a little irrational, like, and like when you hear like, they're gloating about killing a loved one, or it's like you wouldn't know what to do in that moment, and you wouldn't be thinking too much. So it made sense to me also, but overall everything was just spectacular about those scenes. So
yeah, in that 2 years, dude, Doctor Strange learned some new moves.
Yeah, really good ones too. Yeah,
because like in the first movie, he was like, no offense, but his movesets were pretty limited.
Yeah, like he's making whips and like using the time stone, but
and
now
he had a
in
sword
this
too
movie,
this time.
Yeah, like he's making swords, he's making duplicates, and like all this stuff, and like wow, he's not the same sorcerer he was before, eh?
Yep. 2 years changes a man.
Yeah.
All right, Inspector, what did you think about in general the fight scene and whatnot, and I guess Star-Lord's reaction, if it was believable or whatnot?
I really liked the Titan fight scene. It was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Probably my favorite part of the movie.
I think like a lot of people say the Titan fight scene was many people's favorite.
Yeah, I just thought it was really well choreographed and well paced, and I liked. Doctor Strange was definitely the MVP of that scene, and I liked. I wasn't really a big fan of his movie, but I think he did way better in this movie than he did in all of his solo movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like the jokes. I did think that Star-Lord acted like Star-Lord would. Like he's always impulsive and he just lost someone that he loved, so it made sense that he would act that way.
Yeah. All right, Talade, what do you think about the whole Titan fight sequence with Thanos?
That was really cool, but that's on the Star-Lord acted like Star-Lord in the animated movie Irrational. He's Star-Lord at the end of the day. He would act like that. I mean, he just lost his girlfriend, and he's like, no, fuck this, I'm gonna do what I think is right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he did.
Yep. And then we see the Wakanda fight. I think the best part of the Wakanda fight had to be Thor showing up with the Stormbreaker.
Oh yeah, Yes.
Like, dude, like no, I will say this, and I did like Thor Ragnarok, but I feel like the Russos, I guess, have a better understanding of Thor for some reason
Yeah,
than
like
all the previous Thor movies.
that's so weird.
Yeah. I wouldn't actually mind if the Russos made a Thor movie, to be honest.
And not to mention Peter Dinklage.
That was so on the nose.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was gonna be like Maddock or something like that. Like I thought he was like gonna be a different character.
And like out of all of that, like he didn't even forge the hammer. It was Groot's. Like he forged he forged like the head of the hammer, but Groot made like the handle. Yeah, that I just love. Like when Thor returns, I was just like, yes.
Dude, that was so badass.
That was like one of the best superhero landings ever.
I did like the team up between Rocket and the White Wolf, because I can't say Winter Soldier anymore because he's a changed man. I like that. I like the interaction.
He had a hair. And makeover, drain his hair.
Yeah.
I love the scene where Cap is racing T'Challa to the front lines.
Oh yeah, dude! It was very reminiscent towards like Civil War, right? Like
it was like
I was waiting for an on your left, but they didn't do it. I wanted that so much. I want Cap to turn to T'Challa and say like on your left, and then he just like hits the Outriders, just like.
Damn. Yeah, what else? Hulkbuster. Yeah, that was some cool scenes. I thought my theory was that he was going to come out of the Hulk, like the Hulkbuster's Hulk.
That's what I thought too, but no.
The CGI on the Hulkbuster was really rough. When it just showed like Bruce Banner inside the Hulkbuster, like when he opened up the Hulkbuster, it's like.
Yeah. That was like one of the low points there, was that.
And plus, when they did the whole trailer, for the first trailer, they said the Hulk was going to be in that running scene. But when you looked at the full movie,
the running scene in that area didn't even look the same.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. That was a reshoot.
Okoye doing some cool stuff. Like that whole fight scene in Wakanda was awesome.
I still like the Titan better than Wakanda for me.
Yeah.
Me too.
I guess.
Yeah, I agree on that. The Titan fight is more better than Stormbreaker, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I guess we'll segue right into the ending then with
with Vision and Wanda, right? I liked how that she had to destroy Vision, and
he just crushed Vision, like he just like crushed his head.
Like essentially though, like Wanda did kill him first, and I was like, oh damn, that's powerful. And then we're like, wait a minute, this dude has the time stone. I was like, oh snap! But he like just like freaking like ragdolled everyone when he came like into the fight scene. Like I did like how like tense it was, like when everything was quiet and the wind was blowing and stuff.
Yeah,
and we like appeared. That shit was like tense as fuck. And when he like just manhandled everyone, like Hulkbuster just threw him into the rocks, just like whipped everyone. I like the scene with Steve trying to hold up Thanos. It just got knocked out, just like bam.
And then
Wanda destroys him. I was like, oh damn, like you felt sad. And then he used the rewind button. And just plops it out, and like, dude, that dude, like, it kind of looked creepy. I'm not gonna lie. Vision just like lifeless, like
that just
pale, weird. Like not pale, like gray.
Yeah,
eyes dead, everything. I was
it's like black and white, isn't it?
I was like, shoot.
Yeah.
And then he got the whole power, and then I was just like, wow, he has all of it. I was like, wow, let me see if. And then you see Thor. I was like, oh. Well, the heroes win, but no, he straight up missed. And
he didn't miss. He just aimed for the wrong spot.
Yeah, no, I know he didn't miss. He did it on purpose, actually, and like he just wanted to gloat, and he I guess some people can also be angry at Thor because he did it on purpose. It's not like his emotion. Well, no, his emotions did get better of him because he did it for Thor and Heimdall, and he wanted to get that last to kill him at that moment after saying this is for like Loki and Heimdall, and Thanos was just like should have aimed for the head, and then the iconic snap. And I'm like, what? Like, did that shit just happen? I was like, and you find like he gets sent into like somehow the Soul Stone to talk to little Gamora. And it was that I love that scene, and she's just like, "Did you get what you want?" And he's like, "Yes." And like his face looks sad, like seeing her again. And it's like, what did it cost you? And like the anguish you see in his face is like everything. And like he gets out of there, and everyone's like it's so quiet, like everyone's looking like what the fuck just happened. And then when you just like see Bucky, it's like Steve just turn to ash, you're like in your head like what the fuck. It's like, and then it goes like to Bucky to Black Panther to
Vision and
no, it wasn't. Well, Vision's already dead. What's his name? Falcon, and then Groot. I was like,
I don't think anyone cared about Falcon disintegrating.
No one did. Everyone was like, oh damn, like Bucky, and then like Groot, and he's like, people asked James Gunn like what he said to Rocket. And like he like said on Twitter, it was like spoiler ... Groot said dad. I was like, when hearing about it afterwards, I was like, geez, that is sad, even worse. Like Groot considers Rocket his dad, and I was like, damn. And then you go back to the Titan, right? And like Wanda dies, turns to ash, and
Mantis and Drax
and Star-Lord,
Spider-Man,
and then that scene with Spider-Man. And I didn't find out about this afterwards. That was all improv. Like that is some fantastic improv. I will not lie. Tom Holland has some range on him, and like that China choked me up. And because he's a kid, and he's like I don't want to go. Like I don't feel so good. I don't want to go. And like begging as a kid, like you just don't want to die. And then like once he dies, like Tony is like he has some of his ashes on his hands, and he's just like basically like curled up in a ball, like he just cannot believe it because he took on this kid, like right, and he mentored him, and he just dies. And then you go back, right back to like Wakanda, and then like Steve's like, oh gosh, like everything's silent. And we go back, Thanos is in a porch, looks up, the sun's rising, and he smiles. He completed his mission, completed the goal, what he set out to do. Half of humanity is dead. And I was like, wow, they straight up did that. And everyone's just like in my theater, like, oh my gosh, like people like sobbing and all that and shit in my theater the first time. Like I was like, oh man. And I was like, this is powerful. Now, this goes into the problem where if you're a casual movie goer, right? Like let's say my mom, for instance, because I went with her another time. She was just like, what just happened? She straight up died. And she doesn't know the people have movies. And that has a bigger impact on them. And that's really, really good, right? But for us, that's the issue is when we find out about the movies, because we're big movie goers, right? We know about the sequels announced and all that. And we're just like, I guess that's kind of a burden for us as well. It's like, we know that what's going to end up happening is somehow go back in time I don't think they're getting the gauntlet. I think they're going to go back in time somehow and try to fix things. But before that, we'll just discuss the ending and your guys' thoughts. Marvel DC fan, what do you think about how it ended and how half of humanity is dead?
Well, on the first time watching the movie, it was like it felt like a literal kind of gut punch. Like seeing all these characters that you've been watching for the last 10 years, like just essentially die. And like with Spider-Man, like everybody else was like kind of in a state of confusion, sort of, but he was the only one that was in panic, and that's what made it more emotional. And hearing like on Twitter like what they said about what Groot said, it hurt here, like seeing it the first time, and then like the second time I saw it, um, it lost a little bit of its feeling just because they already have movies coming out right after him with them in it. So like I knew that like a lot of these characters were gonna come back and things would just kind of go on from that. But it was emotional a little bit. I didn't cry, but I just like I started to well up a little bit. That's how I felt. I was so upset the first time.
Dude,
But
I'm just like, I'll say this, like, I wish I was like my mom and like my like family that don't know much about movies when they watch it, right? Because they don't know about the sequels. So it's like shit. I kind of wish that I was in their shoes because they're like in a better experience. So like, what? They're dead? Like they don't know. And I was like, I kind of wish I was like that. But that's just me. Inspector, what do you think about like the ending?
I'm kind of with Marvel DC fan that I thought it was emotional, like on the different reactions the characters have, but on the whole, I thought it was very manufactured in the way that, as Marvel DC fans said, like right when I saw Black Panther disintegrate, I'm like, he's not going to stay dead because he has a movie coming out. Same thing with Spider-Man. Like he's not going. And the problem with this movie is that it's definitely the first half of the story. So we know, like, if you know your Infinity Gauntlet, you know that Thanos does do the snap in the middle of the story, but then at the end of the story, someone gets the gauntlet. And in terms of Infinity Gauntlet, it was Nebula, but I assume in the movies it's probably going to be Tony or Steve. They're going to get the gauntlet, and they're going to snap their fingers, and most everyone, like, I don't think everyone, but probably like 80% of the people are going to come back. Like,
I'm hearing though, like seeing set photos, it's gonna be a different type of movie than Infinity War. Like, there's a lot of time travel, it seems,
yeah,
in
like,
the next movie.
yeah, it makes sense because I think, like, I'm not going to say it's going to be exactly like Infinity War, but like, it's going to be interesting. I think, well, we know from the end credits scene that Nick Fury and Maria Hill are gone, and they're going to be gone. I don't think, especially Maria Hill, because I don't think a lot of people cared about Maria Hill. And I think Sam Jackson's just done with these movies. He is doing other stuff. But like, I think of all the characters that are probably going to stay dead, that were killed from the snap, are probably going to be Mantis and Drax. Those are going to be the only ones that are going to stay dead
From the snap?
from the snap. Yeah.
Okay.
The Spider-Man is going to come back. Come back. Black Panther is going to come back. I don't think I don't think Falcon is going to come back. Maybe Bucky. I don't know, because I think just Bucky is so close to Steve that Bucky is such like a such an important character for Steve that I don't think that they would kill him off.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right, Taladia, what do you think about the ending?
Very powerful, obviously. Powerful ending, sad ending. When I went to watch it, obviously, I went to go watch it with somebody else who'd never seen the Marvel, movies beforehand. She was just like, "What? The villain wins?" I'm like, "Well, this is the Infinity War, isn't it? This is what you're gonna get." And well, I think I'm on the same level as the Inspector in terms of Spider-Man coming back. I think Star-Lord will probably come back. Mantis and Drax will probably stay dead, I think. Wanda won't come back. Black Panther will come back for sure. Spider-Man, obviously, like I said. And I think, overall, even the after credit scene, I don't even think Maria Hill or Nick Fury will come back. Samuel L. Jackson's probably going to do something related to Disney because he's going to work on the Incredibles 2. Obviously, he's doing the promo and shit for that, so I don't think he'll have time to even do the Infinity War 2. So,
Who already filmed? Okay, film.
Yeah, the principal photography has been done. I think it's officially done already.
Right.
Because I think they took a picture of like Thanos' gauntlet after that.
Right, and plus there was that whole Thanos thing, gauntlet. There's a second gauntlet as well, so there's a possibility of them using that. But I think overall, Captain Marvel to be in the movie for the next one, I think it's going to be awesome. So
Yeah, she's supposed to be the most powerful Avenger for this universe, of course. My theory is when they bring back these characters, I think the original Avengers are going to die. That's my theory there, and it's just kind of like the way the mood's been with like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner. What's his name? Oh gosh,
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo did not, and they all got an Avengers tattoo, which I find very interesting. They all got one, like at this stage, and they like showed it on Instagram and whatnot. But right. Ruffalo didn't want to get one, and I'm like, huh. It's like usually when you do that is just to remember your time with these people, and it seems like it. Once they bring back, let's say, Spidey, Black Panther, there's going to be a cost, and I think you're going to have characters like Thor, Black Widow, all the original Avengers kind of like pass the torch and die, and I think that's what may end up happening.
That might be the case, because what's his name? The guy who plays Captain America's contract is already
all their contracts are off.
Yeah, all their contracts are up. So I think they might do that. Black Falcon and Captain America thing combined together, or Bucky and Captain America together.
Yeah. They're in what I like to call contracts limbo, where they're dead until their contracts are renewed and then they come back.
They might do that.
They could do that.
They could do that, but
it is comic book realm, so I mean, Wolverine is supposed to be dead, and he comes back from the comics after like.
Well, we'll never know.
But yeah, we got like I guess Taladia's opinion. What do you think, Inspector? You think that holds credence that the original Avengers may end up dying and saving the new Avenger generation?
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say at this point. Knowing that pretty much the only people that survived the snap were the original Avengers, I think they're not going anywhere. That's my. Well, maybe they retire, but I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think they might end up dying for some reason. With the tattoos type, them getting this stuff, I don't know. I think they might just. end them there for Avengers 4. Okay, Marvel DC fan, what do you think? You think that the original Avengers may die to save the new Avengers?
I mean, like, there is like probably a huge possibility for that. Like, because I want to see them do stuff with like the next generation of Avengers. But like, it's for me, it's kind of a double-edged thing. Like, for one thing, like most, if not all, their contracts are pretty much up. But at the same time, like, Chris Hemsworth still wants to play as Thor. So, I mean, they could, like some of them still, like, want to, like, continue on and that sort of thing. So, for me, it's just, like, we'll have to wait and see what happens to know, like, the fate of the original Avengers, whether they die or not. So,
Yeah, because we know that, this will be, like, I guess the last topic is we know Scott Lang, Ant-Man, is going to be a big factor in Avengers 4.
Yep.
With his movie Ant-Man and the Wasp, which you saw a trailer of that. I'm gonna be honest, like, Ant-Man and the Wasp, for me, some people are hyped for it. I guess I'm in the minority where I'm not hyped for that movie. And yeah, I already knew this movie takes place. Like, once I heard about the house arrest in the line with Avengers 4, I was like, okay, so that movie's gonna take place before Infinity War, and the post-credit scene's gonna link up to Infinity War and have maybe the original Ant-Man turn to ash. You know what I mean? Or both the original Ant-Man and original Wasp turn to ash, and then he has to go and save them by, reverting everything with the tech. You know what I mean? But I guess, Inspector, I know you were going to talk about this and saying, like, I guess that's like one of the cons for this movie for Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah, it's just that it kind of takes away the whole impact of Infinity War. Just having this movie take place before Infinity War, it's just like,
Yeah.
Whatever.
And it seems like, I'm just gonna stay for the end credits. I don't like saying that, but I'm not like that hype. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm in the minority here.
I'm not hyped either. It's just like, I mean, I'll see it. Like, I wasn't really a fan of the first Ant-Man. I mean, it was fine. It was decent, but it wasn't really my thing.
Yeah. Marvel DC fan, what do you think about Ant-Man and Wasp? And like, going off the heels from Avengers, you feel like this is going to be weird going to this type of movie?
I mean, the second trailer, for me, it was a lot better than the first one. So I'm kind of looking forward to it now, just a little bit. I need to, like, I'm not, like, too excited for it, but I'm also, like, not, like, in the, minority. Like, I'm still anxious to see what happens in the movie. I do feel like, especially, like, it does kind of lessen the impact of Infinity War, because, like, you got Infinity War, which is this, like, just like, movie that's just ultimately depressing by the very end, and then you got, like, another comedy movie with Ant-Man and that sort of thing. So, I mean, there's that, but I'm still anxious to see it a little bit. So, yeah.
All right, and Taladia, what do you think about the Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I guess coming off the heels of Infinity War?
It's a big fail to me in terms of them doing it after Avengers Infinity War. I think they should have waited until maybe September, I think, because let the hype die down a little bit. After Comic-Con, you can do the movie then, I think. Right?
Well, I agree. I mean, it's like I don't know. It's just like I guess the impact for Infinity War, and you're like it's such a big movie, and then going
Yeah,
to
but the thing
Ant-Man and
is
Wasp.
with the Ant-Man and Wasp, it's not much of a big. It's not going to make a big impact like Avengers: Infinity War does.
Yeah.
And I know it's a prequel as well, so it's not going to make a big impact. So I really wouldn't. I'm not going to bother going to the cinemas and paying money to watch that. I'd rather just wait until it comes out on TV or whenever it's coming on the digital and Blu-ray. Might as well wait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know we were going to talk about comics, but that will be.
I think we should keep that. I think we should keep that till next week.
Yeah,
I think.
that's all I'm saying. We're going to do that for next week. But yeah, guys, I know you checked out my new video channel update. I'll be having a video come out not next week, tomorrow, regarding some gaming news, some other things that I found very interesting that wasn't covered on here. That I made a couple videos and made an opinion piece on why Xbox is in the predicament that they're in. That video will be coming out on Friday, and taking my time with that. But if you guys enjoy this podcast, give this podcast a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content from this channel, hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the bell notification so you can get updated as when the videos come out and when the live streams are happening. Also, Twitch is at Retro420. We'll be streaming 3 times a week, starting probably around Thursday or Friday when I will live stream on Twitch. But Inspector, where can they find you at?
They can find me on Twitter at the Inspector.
All right, Marvel DC fan, where can they find you at?
Well, there's my YouTube channel, which is Marvel DC Fan X99. And you can also find me on Twitter, which is at Marvel DC Fan X99. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff, and take care.
All right, Claudia, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter, which is at mtaladia. You can also find me on Twitch, which is Taladia Plays. Same as my YouTube channel, where I am currently doing a couple of videos I'm working on with Irodrian Gamer on YouTube and on Twitch. I'm currently just doing Injustice. We're just grinding out for gear pieces for different characters right now. We've done Superman yesterday and Green Lantern. So we're going to be focusing on different characters on Twitch, where I live stream 7:30 British summertime. You can find me on there. Make sure you pop by, give me a follow, all that good stuff. But make sure you do like this video, guys. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff, guys. And we'll see you guys next week.
Guys, this is the Overleveled podcast signing off.
Yeah, later.
See you guys later.